to Pistols and Pie starts right now. Here's Jeff Cameron.
The Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV. Good to be with you as always. Appreciate you being with us. Corey and Ira in-house. This hour brought to you always, and it's delicious. I chopped it up over the weekend with, I got the andouille.
I just had some andouille last night. Andouille. I had some last night, actually.
Yeah, I didn't have any last night. Over the weekend, I cut it up, put it in the pan, the skillet, got after it, put it in some scrambled eggs.
Oh, look at you.
Register sausage, folks. Yay, sausage.
So you guys are going to mock me, I'm sure, but I'll put a little ketchup in my scrambled eggs.
I mean,
that's not what you do, but okay. I mean, were you in the Navy? Well, I didn't know this.
So I think it's a northern thing, because when we moved down to Miami from the Northeast, I remember we were at a restaurant and I asked for ketchup and the lady said, "Oh, for your potatoes?" Like the waitress. And I was like, "No, for my eggs." And she looked at me. It was like one of those scenes in the movie where everything stops.
Everybody's like, what is going on here? Yeah.
So anyway, I like ketchup in my scrambled eggs, which gives it a little sweetness, right? But the andouille is spicy.
Yeah, spicy.
So I don't know
you don't
how
want to do that.
I would hope you would never use ketchup on the register sausage. I mean, you don't get to order register sausage if you use ketchup on
We might lose the sponsorship if Ben hears that I'm putting ketchup anywhere near my andouille.
Yeah, if you plan on buying registers and then using ketchup to eat it, don't buy registers. We don't want you.
So, and Andrew's writing here in the chat right off the bat. Also, we can no longer trust Ira. Ketchup on eggs.
Yeah,
WTF. I mean, we don't. Ira, some things you just keep to yourself.
Maybe,
that's one of them.
Maybe, Andrew, you could start trusting other people who do this and realize if it's okay for Ira to do it, it's okay for others.
It's not okay for you to do it either.
Well, we're moving on. Register sausage, unbastardized as it is by Ira, is the best way to go, and throw that into the eggs. You're good to go.
Jason says ketchup and hot sauce. I've seen the hot sauce.
Hot
a lot
sauce,
of people do hot
I'll
sauce.
do a little hot sauce action every now and again.
Ketchup
just dominates the taste. No, man, I don't like ketchup.
I'll put hot sauce on everything.
I'm not 9.
I love hot sauce.
9-years love ketchup.
Yeah.
I can't imagine having anything with ketchup.
I had a father-in-law who I love dearly, but I used to tease at the table all the time because we'd have shrimp and he'd put ketchup on his shrimp.
That's the craziest egg.
I told him, get up from the table. Get up from the table.
Yeah.
Get up from the damn table.
Did you slap him?
I did not. He's a smallish guy. I didn't want to do that. It would be the wrong thing.
Right.
Plus, he was a nice man, but he was just obviously misguided.
Well, if you live in the Southeast, certainly in Florida, it's expanding every day across the Southeast. Register sausage. You can find it in most of your local grocery stores. If you don't, we suggest a peaceful protest. Maybe call a manager, make your voice heard. And if you're outside of the area, order it at registermeats.com. They'll deliver it to you. It'll be fresh, delicious. You can have some andouille as well.
Hey, really, Gabe, again on you, brother. Well done. Doff of the cap to you. So this is now the third week since trying register sausage. While walking by the meats section in the grocery store, my wife says, we need more register sausage.
Yep. Gabe, you married well, buddy.
Yeah. Doing well.
Hold on to that.
Gabe, hang in there. All right, so here we go again. The three of us were just at practice this morning, and it was good to be back at it. Good to get out there and watch this team. What we can and cannot talk about, it's getting meatier. All the things that are happening, most of it we can talk about, which is great.
Right.
But
we can't talk about the triple reverse they ran and then the throwback.
Yeah. Don't do that.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Duquesne's got a game plan for that now.
But I would tell you that there are just some things where you're kind of like, all right, well, this is interesting. They're starting to some more meat and potatoes, guys. Some more meat and potatoes being thrown into the mix here.
I was thinking about this though. If you let something slip about the depth chart, like one of the big things they don't want us to talk about from practice is depth chart and injuries. I guess that's two of the things they don't want us to talk about. Depth chart, if something slipped out, I mean, they're playing Duquesne. LSU's going to see the Duquesne film. So, I mean,
they don't want Duquesne to know.
But, I mean, is it going to be a big problem?
No.
Hey, man, I don't know. I don't know with this program,
Yeah, that's a good point.
We didn't think Jack State.
Hey, stop.
I'm just saying, we didn't think Jack State was going to be a problem.
I'll give you 24 right now.
No.
Come on. You're so scared. You
I'm
scared
not
over there? You're scared already?
No,
Come on.
no.
I'll give you 24 right now.
What's the halftime line? Give us the halftime line.
You want a first half line?
First half line.
What's the real line? Is that out yet?
It's not. They're not. I don't even know that there will be a line for that game.
Give me a first half line.
I'll give you 24.
For the first half.
I might know.
I might do it for the first half.
We'll talk after the show.
After the show. All right. Come on. Let's get at it.
Double up on that Orioles Pirates.
There we go. I mean, I do need to swing by some beer to you, buddy. And I'm celebrating it. I want a team to root for in the playoffs that doesn't have a $4 billion payroll.
Come over.
I'm with you.
You're basically an Orioles fan.
Well, I like the Orioles
and
anyhow.
you've been to a bunch of
your
their
blood.
games.
I have. I've been to Camden Yards probably more than any stadium, any major league stadium in the country.
Let's do it. And you come over to the house tonight. We'll watch them play the Blue Jays.
I've quite literally been to Camden Yards in excess of 30 to 40 times.
Wow.
Yeah, but it was
more than
because
me.
you were dating the.
But I also liked going to
What
those
was her name
games.
again?
Marilyn.
Sweet.
Yeah. Marilyn Cologne, if she's out there.
Christy doesn't listen to this.
Thank
does
goodness.
She? Yeah.
Thank goodness.
She's
yeah.
no Christy Cameron. I can tell you that.
Yeah. Dr. Cologne now. But yeah. So, no.
Oh, she's got a doctor.
She does.
He had to throw that in there.
Yeah. No, she was great. But we used to go to those games all the time, and I loved it. And those were the good Oriole teams, too.
Yeah.
The one that got screwed by the Jeffrey Mayer play. That was close.
That was
close. That was close.
That was really close.
Yeah.
Half out of my mouth.
Yeah, that almost happened, man. We'd have been in trouble.
They're good again, buddy. They're good again.
Yeah.
But it's not Orioles headlines. Is it,
No.
Corey?
No. Nobody wants to hear that nonsense.
Seminole Headlines is underway, and we are really close to a season beginning, guys. I can't wait. So now what's today's date?
This is our
16th?
last show
16th?
that's a
Wow.
non-game week. This is the last non-game week show.
I'm going to tell you something right now. Yesterday, Tom Lang, Gene Williams, you guys are familiar with those two?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And myself, we went to Indigo over there.
Oh, you saw Jay.
Yeah, I saw Jay, my man Jay. I love Jay. In fact, Jay and I had a big hug.
Yeah,
Almost
retweeted the picture.
Well, just like a welcome back football
It's
hug
here.
from
It's
Jay.
here.
You know, it was so good.
He gives a good hearty hug.
He's a good hugger. I like
Yeah.
a good hugger. So we went to the roof up there where we're going to be doing the pregame shows, Tom and myself, and it's going to be a Warchant party. It's going to be a party for anybody going to the game.
Yeah, we'll all be up in there.
Everybody's going to be there, right? And what a great locale. And I'm not doing that just to sell it, guys, because we're going to be there regardless if you show up or not. But what I'm saying is we can see the stadium in the backdrop where we're going to set it all up. We're checking out the logistics. What are we going to do? How's the setup? Where are we going to put the mics? Where are we going to put the banners? Where are we going to put the cameras? And I think
Tom was figuring that all out. Jeff was hugging Jay.
No, I did hug Jay, and then Jay offered me a drink, but we didn't
So
have any.
that's where that's where your conversation went.
No, actually,
Tom was looking where the plugs are.
You can ask Tom about this. We actually got into it. It was a meeting of the minds. I was like, I don't like this spot right over here. I want to be over here. I think we need to do this over here. Now that could have been me being a diva. I don't know, but he kind of agreed it was a better spot. So we're looking at it. We may move it around, guys. Nothing set in stone. Jay is like, hey, look, man, whatever you guys want to do. But either
way, it tells you that it's here.
It's time.
It's
go time,
yeah.
man. There was an energy there. It was awesome.
So clarify though. So it's Hotel Indigo.
Oh, sorry,
which is in College Town.
Yeah.
Our
3 hours. Yeah. 3 hours before every home game, we will be there. 2-hour pregame show, which takes you up to an hour outside of the game when you start walking up and all that good stuff. We're going to be live right there. Pregame show, myself and T. Lizzie.
Now, if I'm from Tallahassee and I'm not paying whatever Hotel Indigo is charging on a game weekend, because we know how hotels are, can I come by?
Absolutely.
Anybody can come by.
Swing on in, baby. Come on in here and get you a drink. And there's food up there. Zaxby's sponsoring it. They've got plenty of food up there as well. So it's gonna be a time. It's gonna be a good time.
Looking forward to it.
Football, and when the weather shifts, that's gonna be perfect. You get a little cool breeze. Yesterday, we actually oddly had a breeze up there. It was perfect. I just wanted to walk over to the stadium. I heard the band playing, practicing.
Yep.
That's the sound, man. That is the sound. If you're off in the distance, you hear the band practice, you're like, it is effing go.
A little
time,
nip
man.
in the air. Got
91,
I think 93.
Yeah. Next thing you know, it's gonna be 87.
Cracking in the 80s.
Yeah.
So a meaty topic, as you mentioned, some meaty topics playing off of registers.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Jordan Travis's comments today, towards the end of his interview, that people can watch at Warchant TV. I thought it was pretty interesting. I don't know, Corey, you heard it too. I'm curious your thoughts. But he talked about how much I said, when you guys are putting in the game plan, because they're starting to now install
pretty clear they are, yeah.
And I was like, does Coach Norvell ask you what you like? And he said he always asked me. And last year I would tell him I like this or I feel comfortable with this. And he goes, now I feel comfortable with everything. Like there's nothing that we have in that I don't feel good about.
Good.
That's a pretty cool thing.
Especially because he said it was 100% different than last year at this time. Last year at this time, he was trying to win the job.
Yeah.
He barely did.
Battling, yeah.
So he wanted to focus on things he felt good with.
Yeah.
Now he says he feels good in every. I mean, it's a good thing to hear.
I would hope that's the logical step to take when you're the guy and you don't have to worry about your job and you're going to have to lead and be that guy. You got to know more of the playbook. You got to feel comfortable. You got to rep it more. He's done all those things. I see no reason why he wouldn't have confidence. It's good to hear it, though.
Yeah.
It is good to hear it. And I see no reason why that wouldn't be the case. I mean, he should have it all at his disposal and obviously should feel good about it. I think
because I kind of thought he was going to say, yeah, last year I felt the same, but he didn't. He said he didn't at all.
Yeah, that was a weird. When
and
you think back on last year,
and he said he talked about how difficult this. He said this is a challenging playbook. There's a lot to it, because that's the thing about Norvell's offense. It's not like they have one thing they establish. I mean, it's kind of one of those where it's a big menu. They want to be able to take advantage of all these different matchups based on what you're doing, and that because of that, you have to be good at a lot of different things.
Yeah, but I think that they will. And again, I've said this repeatedly, and it's. I think both of you will agree on this. I mean, they want to run the ball. I mean, they want to run the football and establish that it's physical. It protects your defense, which is going to be a good defense, I think, this year. And I just think they're better suited for it because of what Jordan opens up in the run game for everybody. And I think they'll be able to do that. I think it also sets up the big play. And I think they'll be able to do that as well.
Well, and you got some guys who can maybe be a target for a big play.
Yeah, and so all of a sudden that's changed. Now, it doesn't mean that they're not capable of the other things, and they've got to have that in there because some teams are going to be hell-bent on taking some things away. And so that's good when you say Jordan feels comfortable with everything else. Good, because teams are going to make you beat them doing something that is not your cup of tea, is not what you do best. If they're at all capable, they're going to take that away. They're going to do the Bill Belichick thing and say, listen, if you can beat me going left, you haven't shown it on film yet, but if you can, I'll off the cap. That kind of thing. So we'll see. I think LSU might be equipped to take some things away. They need to be able to shift gears and go to other things and have a level of comfort with it. And I'm glad to hear Jordan does because he's going to need to do that against the better teams.
And they got, obviously the first goal of any defense against this offense is to take the running game away. That's just what it's always going to be. And last year, they still ran for a lot of yards in these games, but it's like they hit a 70-yarder, a 50-yarder,
and then a whole lot of nothing.
2, 1, 3, -5.
Yep.
I think they're better equipped to, have a consistent running game. But also, if you do say we're going to play you like Clemson did, like imagine Clemson's defense last year. I mean, look, man, I said this when we were wrapping up practice today. Is like, man, I would throw the ball to Deuce Spann 10 times against Duquesne. Just to see what happens, get some confidence up because they didn't have a guy like him last year that Clemson would actually legitimately have to worry about out wide. Yeah. Or Johnny Wilson in a one-on-one matchup, or Micah Pittman for that matter. I think those three guys, man, that just makes your offense different if they can win these one-on-one battles. They've been winning them a good bit, all three of them. I thought Deuce Spann today had another good day, and it's not big plays downfield, although I think he made one, but it's just the release off the line of scrimmage and then the hands catches going across the middle. Like it's the receiver stuff, not just, hey, we know you can run in a straight line and run fast. That to me was really encouraging. When you got what he can do, what maybe he can be, and what Johnny Wilson can be, all of a sudden, okay, yeah, go cheat your safety up. Put 8 in the box. Well, we'll see what happens.
And this is going to sound like we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit, but I think Malik McClain has had a really good camp, especially the last week or so. I think he's another, again, a big body that can really run.
They need him to step up. He's been in the system now long
enough.
They
look like NFL dudes. Yeah. Like I know they're not NFL. Sure, well, so does Deuce.
Oh, well, Deuce is the one that stands out. I'm talking about the other receivers. Yeah.
But with Johnny, a 6'7" guy. I mean, you all of a sudden you're not getting off the bus with a bunch of 5'11" guys or 5'10" guys.
Well, they tried to throw fades to short people last year. It was really annoying.
You remember? Yes. You remember how those went?
Bothered me.
Or anytime somebody challenged them and they had to go deep because they had no choice. Yeah. But you're throwing to a small target.
It's a short window. Small window.
It's almost impossible.
Yeah. No, and that's why I roll my eyes when we came out of just point, man. Just point. I got a button over here. I can turn the mic off.
I did it the one time, and you were like, "What?"
Now you're hell-bent on clearing your throat in these segments.
That one would have come across on this mic anyway.
Yeah, that was
guys, I thought I got back from my bad, everyone. I'm sorry. Listen.
I thought you had the surgery. I don't know what's going on.
Every time I eat, I just ate about 30 minutes ago. Sometimes I get a little reflux coming on up.
Let's get back into it in a moment. We'll take a little respite on
that's going to be the end note of
the I didn't know. Interrupted everything.
I apologize, everyone.
Jeff hard left turn.
Jeff may not come back for the next thing.
I know, man. It's going to be you and I. You're not going to have the cough button.
Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV.
Oh, hey, Jeff, look at this place.
Yeah. Well, doing well. It's been a while since I've seen you, brother, but, it hasn't been a while since I've been over to Gordo's. I go there on the regular because of you, Eddie.
Well, we keep you regular.
Well, that's true, but I think of Gordo's as a place to sit down, have a cold beer, talk to your friends, enjoy the sports, eat the delicious food. But I think of you as Uncle Eddie, a man who takes care of his people and takes care of the town.
I appreciate that, Jeff. Hey, and we'll keep you regular.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
You were always more than my mom. You were my role model, my best friend, and biggest supporter. You filled my days with unconditional love. And you also prepared for the day when you couldn't be here. Because of the woman you were back then, I'm able to be the woman I am now. Your planning made this moment possible.
Set your family up for life. Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance. Your friends for life.
This is Andy Cohen. When I was a law enforcement officer, I devoted my life to a career of service and protection. Who's protecting you? Give me a call. 850-671-FARM. That's 671-FARM. Helping you is what we do best.
Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi. Not licensed to do business in all 50 states.
Sellers Tile does it better for business owners, contractors, designers, and homeowners. Better design ideas, better quality tile, carpet, and hardwood flooring, better mosaics, ceramic, and vinyl solutions. And Sellers makes it easier with their amazing showroom and first-class professionals. Maybe it's time to get Sellers working for you on Capitol Circle Northeast, just north of Mahan Drive, or online at sellerstile.com for better style, quality, and design. Go with Sellers in Tallahassee. Call 656-8453.
Lawson & Lawson Electrical Services has been Tallahassee's preferred residential electrician for over 30 years. Hi, this is Rowdy Lawson, and we've earned our reputation because we care about our customers, about quality, and about providing great service. We stand by every job we do and consider it a privilege to work on a family project like a new house, a custom addition, or a green renovation. For all your residential or service projects, call the good guys, Lawson & Lawson Electrical Services, 562-4111.
For many in the workforce, their goal is to climb the company ladder. Often the climb requires a move to another city, and that's especially true in our industry. I'm Jay of Paul's Termite and Pest Control. If you rise the ranks of our competitors, there's a good chance moving up means moving away. Why? Because they're not local companies. They're from places like Orlando, Atlanta, Salt Lake City, and even Europe. That's certainly not the case with our employees. We're a company that was founded in the Big Bend and remains locally owned. When Paul's Termite and Pest Control employees advance, they remain in the Tallahassee area. Don't trust the safety of your family and pets from disease-carrying pests or the structure of your biggest investment from termites to people who may be here today and gone tomorrow. Trust Paul's Termite and Pest Control, a company that has serviced thousands of our neighbors right here for over 50 years. Being local really does matter in our industry because local problems require local solutions. Paul's Termite and Pest Control are the Big Bend's local experts for the elimination of termites or any other pest, and a greener lawn too. Call Paul's. We'll get them all.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Yeah, we made it back. We're good.
Yep.
I overcame you clearing the throat.
I feel another one coming up too. Just be on the lookout when I do that.
Keep talking right now. Just say
Corey
something.
Clark's talking. I'm making a point.
Yeah,
Okay,
there we go. Now we got it. All right.
I felt like that moment there, that there's just a little contentiousness. It felt like watching the Beatles documentary.
Yeah.
Like when George Harrison walks out.
I'm out here playing Let It Be, and he's like, can you keep it down? I'm talking to Yoko.
But they had nothing but love for one another, Ira, as you and I both noted from that. Just occasionally it got contentious. But, when you're creative like that and you're all together doing a thing, you can get
healthy
that way.
egos.
It can
It
happen.
would have been great if they cut out the one where Ringo just kept coughing every
over
time.
over and over.
Paul's
anybody can drum, guys. You can get anybody in here to play these parts. Let's
write
go.
an epic song.
Keeps clearing his throat.
All right, so the news of the day. Do we want to classify that? Let's do that. The news of the day, Joshua Burrell at running back. I like it because I think that you can utilize him in a way that he might have some real value this year. I feel like he's kind of a pseudo running back / H-back kind of guy, and that's exciting.
It's kind of harsh to go straight into that part of it, though. Part of the reason for the move is because C.J. Campbell
is out for the year.
Is out for the year, and he's a guy who really had a great spring. Kind of has followed the same path as Trayshawn Ward. Came in as a walk-on, really impressed everybody last season.
Really good spring.
Had a great spring.
Yeah,
and really just fits in. Looks like a scholarship running back, and he's a guy that they thought when DJ Williams transferred out, everybody's like, well, it's not that big of a deal because you have CJ Campbell. They brought in Rodney Hill. Well, now CJ Campbell's out for the year. Mike Norvell talked about that today, and it's, obviously devastating, just like when they lost Cadence Lyles personally, but they were able to move Joshua Burrell in. And when Corey asked him about it, Norvell, I think, said it's something they had already been thinking about because of Josh Burrell's skill set and looking for ways maybe he could help this team this season. And I'm with you, man. I think he'll fit in really well there.
Well, he's a big, strong kid.
Yeah.
And he wasn't, I don't think, going to get
They don't have a lot of big
time.
dudes in the backfield.
Right. And I didn't think he was going to get a ton of opportunities at wide receiver this year.
Right.
And so to me, for him to be able to do that, you got a guy who can catch the ball out of the backfield now. You got a guy that at his size can block. But, let's say you're not a guy that's routinely making a corner miss. Well, you can make a linebacker or a safety miss.
Well, and he was,
you
look,
can get open against those guys.
It was his first day out there, and he was noticeable. Like, he made plays, more plays, I thought, in team stuff today than he had, maybe the whole camp.
Well, I thought he had a pretty good camp. I think he actually had a better camp than I think we expected after the spring. Because, last year he was in a boot all year. He had surgery when he got here. And then in the spring when we saw him, you just didn't see much burst.
Yeah, there was no burst,
And we even talked, maybe he becomes a tight end or something. But I thought this camp he had actually been showing. He hit some deep balls. I mean, he's caught some deep balls in practice and 1-on-1 and 7-on-7. And so I think he's a guy that this isn't just a move for somebody to take carries in practice. I think he's a guy they think can help him. And you're right on the money. I'm talking to somebody familiar with the situation who said that one of the things they're really excited about him with is that physicality.
He's
and
big.
He's a guy that can, pick up blitzes, just be a more physical presence. Trey Benson's got size, but he's not really a battering ram kind of guy.
Right.
I think this is the better suited role for him, in my opinion. And again, I don't want to sit in here and bash him as a receiver, but with the group that they have, and then him coming off that injury a year ago, he wasn't going to get a lot of reps, I don't think,
Not
year
this season
at wide receiver. So to me, this move makes perfect sense. And by the way, if he's this big already, he's going to get bigger and stronger.
And it's not a permanent move. Somebody just asked in the chat, Timmy. He's going to be doing some of both. It's not like he'll never work with the receivers anymore. But I think if he really shines at running back, you could see a scenario where it becomes a permanent move.
It's just you wonder where he is on a depth chart. And Norvell talked unsolicited. He brought up Lawrence Toafili and talked about the type of camp he's had, that he's so much better than he was last year. And he's like, yeah, you saw some explosive plays last year, but he's a completely different guy now. And I think that's translated to what we see. This isn't coach speak. This isn't just coach eyes. And I've seen Lawrence Toafili has flashed, in my opinion, more than any running back they've had this fall, this camp. He just has. He's made a bunch of. He was really good in Jacksonville too. It's going to be interesting how they divvy this thing up, man. I think he was the forgotten guy. Kind of, it was going to be the Trabian, as we were going to call him, the Trabian backfield. But you might want to throw but Toe back in there too.
Dude, just call them their names. Let's. The audience right now is like, who the hell is he talking about? Call them by their names.
Trey Benson, Trayshawn Ward, and Lawrence Toafili.
By the way, the first two on that list are still going to get the bulk of the carries.
We'll see. Lawrence Toafili is going to play a lot.
Well, here's the thing.
No, but you use him in a lot of different ways.
Yes, but
he's going to get the primary ball carrier.
But I thought that was kind of interesting talking to Norvell about that because in the past they really only used him in certain situations and packages. They didn't use him as an every down type of back. He said now they can. And we asked why, and he said, well, just a lot of things he's gotten better. But then when they talked to Trayshawn Ward, what did Trayshawn Ward say? The difference in Lawrence Toafili.
That he's taking the weight room seriously. He's like he understands the weight room now. He's gotten bigger.
Small. He was small.
Yeah. And so that's the difference. He's not that guy. And now he's bigger and stronger and can be out there.
Don't put me on the spot like that again.
I mean, I thought I was trying to give you some shine.
No, I was reading some chat. I was reading some chat questions.
I was startled by the question.
Yeah, I was
you
like,
could see it on his face.
Wouldn't you think that's kind of
he was going to have to think?
like, you know, how actors, like, they give to each other.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Right?
You can
And like
see 'em,
musicians will do it. Like I was trying to do that.
But it only can be taken advantage of, Ira, if they're in the moment and they're listening to you.
I was outside
He
the
has
moment.
no chance to be listening to you.
That's a
He's
good
thinking
point.
about what he's going to say next.
Yeah, that's what all the
There's
great
no
actors do.
There's no
They're
chance.
just thinking about
He
what comes
doesn't know
next.
what Ira just served up.
I'm
over
waiting
here.
for the lips
You
to stop
gave
moving.
him a chance to run with
You
it, but
saw
he's
what-
thinking about his next point.
Because he had just told me this because he was interviewing Trayshawn Ward while I'm interviewing Joshua Farmer.
Yeah.
So he told me the story. I didn't want to just take it.
No, you were trying to serve up an
Right.
opportunity,
Yeah.
but he
My
has to
fault.
be here.
Yeah, and I
He has to
wasn't. I
be
wasn't present.
Just
I
has
wasn't
to
present.
feel this.
Can't
He
you-
has to know.
Can't you just be present?
Every now and again.
No.
Every now and again. It's not all about you.
All I'm thinking about now is trying not to hawk up something again.
Oh, good. Let's keep that under wraps. We're off to a shaky start, Corey Clark. Come on, buddy.
Sorry.
Sky Ninja writes, I haven't, and by the way, thank you, Sky Ninja, FSU. We really appreciate you.
Thank you, man.
I haven't heard all that much about AJ Duffy. Is he as good as he was expected to be? Is the first part of that question. Does he seem to be progressing in a way that we can still see him being a future star for the offense? I'll go first, and you guys chime in, and that way, I mean, hopefully I won't unduly influence your opinions. I know I sometimes
That can't happen.
can happen. He's not a star. He's a freshman. He's not going to be a star. He's not a star right now. I think he's on pace. I think he gets overwhelmed sometimes. My biggest problem with any freshman quarterback, unless they're preternaturally great and they have just an unbelievable mind, the way Jameis Winston did, for example, they're all going to be hesitant. He pats the ball a lot. It takes him some time because it's moving 1,000 miles per hour. Now he has his great moments. You see moments where you're like, okay, there it is. That's what they see. And then you can get excited about it. He has a series or two where you're like, there it is. But he has a lot of plays where he just doesn't see it and he pats it. That's normal, completely normal. He's a freshman. He's not getting as many reps with the ones. He's not going to get those opportunities. So it's going to be more difficult for him. I think he's on pace.
It's to be determined.
It is
right?
to
You
be
can't
determined. You can't
right now.
know that he's not.
But there are some things you can determine.
Yeah.
And before, if you go back to last spring when he came in as an early enrollee, before they had started really installing anything, it was just going out and running routes. And he's, the quarterback should have thrown on air.
Yeah.
The hand talent is obvious. I mean, he can throw the football.
Yes,
he
he
can
can.
make all the throws. He's an impressive passing quarterback. Once they started installing things, you could see his mind start swimming, and then he regressed a little bit. Then you go into this preseason camp, and again, Mike Norvell has talked about it. They were not going to spoon feed him. They weren't going to keep him on another field with the freshmen. I mean, he's doing everything the older guys do, and because of that, I think you saw him the same thing, like really kind of struggling to process, not throwing with conviction. I feel like in the last week or so, it's changed. I think he is throwing much more comfortably. I thought he looked good today. And I think, man, again, the hand talent is once the knowledge comes, I mean, the hand talent's important.
Yeah.
And I think once, as he gets more comfortable, you'll be able to see him apply the hand talent. I think he's as good or better than I expected when he got here. It's going to take time.
That's absolutely the key, and he's in no race to play right now.
Rush,
you don't have to. Yeah, it's let him learn it. Let him learn it. I mean, he has great reps followed by that's questionable. Well, that's what freshmen look like when they're playing quarterback.
I was telling Ira in Jacksonville, this was something I noticed. I mean, so like you said, the tapping of the ball, which happens a lot if a guy doesn't break open right away.
Yeah.
And this is in 7-on-7, even sometimes one-on-ones. It's just okay, tuck it and run. Just tuck it and run. And he does that more than the other two. And I mean,
which he should. He hasn't been in the offense. Yeah.
But out in Jacksonville, it was almost like there had been an edict. You are not tucking the ball. I don't care if anybody's open or not. You are throwing the ball, because he might have done it one time in 2 days. He was they weren't all great throws, but you could see him stepping into it more and talking about the conviction. It's like you have to trust it and throw it at some point. And he did it the whole time in Jacksonville. Now, again, some of them were highly, highly challenged and contested and everything else, but he actually would not just take the safe way out. It's almost like they made him throw the ball downfield.
And the last thing I want to say to him real quick, I think a lot of people were upset when Chuba Purdy left. I'll just say I feel like I believe AJ Duffy's a better future quarterback than Chuba Purdy. I never felt. I mean, there were some people around the program who really liked Chuba and thought he had a great future. I didn't see it as much. I see it more with AJ. I think he's going to be a really good quarterback.
I like AJ, and I think his development's right where it needs to be. I don't have any problem with him right now. I don't see anything that is an alarm bell to the negative. And I think with Chuba, that was an unfortunate situation. He got hurt immediately, and you're kind of like, well, I don't know. This is a mess. And the next thing you know, clearly something went wrong medically, and he's gone, and he's at home figuring it out. Like, this just was downhill. Luckily, things have really started off right for A.J. Duffy. He looks the part, and he looks like a guy who's learning at the right trajectory to be on pace to be where he needs to be in a year or two. So
you'd hate to have to use him this year.
No, yeah, you don't want to play him now. You don't want to play. And the other reason you don't want to play him now is Tate's been very good in camp. What was to be the point of throwing A.J. Duffy out there? Tate's been here for a long time. He understands the offense. Do you take a step back if he has to come into the game? Likely. But he's the backup quarterback, and I think he's more than competent. I think you could win some of the games on the schedule with him. I think you could. I wouldn't have said that a year ago. So, I mean, that's a little bit different there, too. I just, to me, by the way, I'm excited now because you can tell Mike is, and this is the other part of today's practice, they're getting really focused on install, really focused on what they want to be and getting ready for the games. And he's intense right now. I mean, there's no, like, you heard him yelling at guys, make choices. He's talking about them time and again. Like, the pressure that he has to feel is very real. And at the same time, he understands that time is of the essence, guys. We got to be ready to go. This has to be a difference-making season. And I hear that in his voice. Now, he's always intense. He's always high energy. But I think the details are on display a little bit earlier. They get the benefit of that week 0 game. So they started earlier and they're ready to go.
Do you like when coaches yell at other coaches? Like when the head coach gets on an assistant coach?
It matters what it's about.
Right.
No.
Not
I mean, I'm not typically a fan. If there's a very valid reason, but I'm not a big. I feel like you're kind
undermining
of kneecapping his authority with his own players when he gets chewed out in front of them.
My guess, though, is I wonder if it's something that happens repeatedly, and maybe you have private conversations, then it happens again.
There won't be a private conversation at that point.
At that point, you're like, hey, man, get your guys in order. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's not unique. I mean, every head coach that's ever been a head coach at Florida State has gotten on to his assistant coaches. Yeah. But it's always kind of weird. Like, you always wonder, like, everybody else looks around. It's like when the parents, when your parents would argue, and like everybody's like, can I laugh? Do I need to hide?
Yeah. And it was crazy that it was Odell. You wouldn't have thought Norvell would scream down Odell like that in front of his players. Odell's beloved. Sorry, it's a joke, right? You know
how many confused people there are right now? Once again,
including the three of us in here.
Yeah. No, it wasn't Odell. No, I think Mike is. Listen, I think we're going to see a very intense Mike for the coming days. It's go time now, and this is a very. How many times have we talked about it? Really, every day of the summer. It's a huge year. They got to be good, guys. Yeah. They just got to be good. They can't. He can't afford to be average. Can't afford to be 6-6. Can't afford to be 5-7. They've got to be good. So every attention to detail. And he's been here long enough now, and he's got enough of the guys that were here in the spring. So there really shouldn't be any reason not to be able to go quickly and have this stuff worked out, streamlined, and ready to go every day. He should demand a lot. And I'm sure that, that holds true for himself. So.
Hey, what did you think? Jeff brought it up yesterday on the Jeff Cameron show.
I did.
1 to 3 p.m. Wildly popular.
Thank you.
I noticed you didn't use the pic. You were live this time.
I was.
So I didn't have the picture.
No,
you were video.
He was live, yeah.
But he asked about the situation. Jordan not playing much in the scrimmage.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on that?
I was fine with it. I would like him maybe to get a little more live work with new guys that he hasn't thrown to a ton. They just haven't had a lot of live scrimmage.
But you'd have to feel like he has to feel. They must feel good about that.
I do, and I also think you don't need to be risking anything with him. Like, you don't need an over aggressive freshman wanting to make a play and accidentally roll it into your starting quarterback. I mean, you kind of want to get in and get out with if he looks the part. If he had 2 good series or 2.5, 3 good series, yeah, you're good. You're that's a wrap.
Yeah,
let the other guys get reps because they're going to need to practice with the ones too.
And I went back and listened to the part where you and Tom talked about it, and I thought you guys made a really good point that it's there is a possibility, a likelihood to some degree that Jordan wouldn't make it through the season, every snap of the entire season.
Sure. Tate's going to have to play it.
This gives Tate and Duffy a chance to run with the ones against the ones. Gives them some more experience.
Yeah, I think it's really big for Tate. He's got to be a guy that gets some of those opportunities with the ones, just because you want some synergy there if he has to come in for a quarter, a game, a half, whatever it might be, and he doesn't always get that opportunity. So I get that part of it. I just thought it was an interesting choice. Of course, we're not there at the scrimmage, so what if the 1 versus 1's good versus good? Jordan's going right down the field, and they have 3 good series. You're right. Okay. We could pull him here. It's just interesting that they felt like they'd seen enough out of him, which is on the one hand, a good sign. On the other hand, it's just something you're allowed to question. I mean, I think he could probably use as many reps as possible.
I also think having Duquesne as the opener is another factor.
Another reason.
If it was LSU in that opening week,
yeah.
I think maybe you don't just have him.
That's a
play
good
2 or
point.
3
I think you're
series.
exactly right. I doubt they would have done that. In fact, if it was LSU in week 1.
There you go. I made a good point.
You
finally.
did. You're bouncing back. I
Okay,
need
good.
that. That's a
good.
good chance to break. Let's
Okay,
let him feel
thank
good about
God.
himself.
Thank you very
Had
much.
a good series. I don't need you to rep anything else. Let's just shut it down right here for now. All right.
Perfect.
Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Now.
A 32-year-old Quincy man was killed and a woman was sent to the hospital with serious injuries following a crash on US 90 in Gadsden County Saturday afternoon. A 32-year-old driver of a sedan left the eastbound lanes of US 90 for unknown reasons, crossed the grass median, and collided with an SUV traveling west. The driver of the sedan was pronounced dead at the scene. The 59-year-old Gretna woman driving the SUV suffered serious injuries. Monday was move-in day at the campus of Florida A&M University with just 2 cases of monkeypox reported in Leon County. School health leaders say to keep cases low, it's all about educating. Getting information on what monkeypox is, how it spreads, and who is at risk to students is a top priority for health officials at colleges and universities as students return for the fall. Students are expected to self-report positive cases. They will be advised to go home until they are no longer contagious. Right now, the isolation period for monkeypox is around 4 weeks. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Chance for scattered thunderstorms this afternoon. Otherwise, more clouds and sun. Daytime highs approaching 92. West winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance for scattered thunderstorms tonight. Lows dip down to about 74. Mainly cloudy skies expected. Mainly clear skies and quiet tomorrow. Chance for scattered thunderstorms. High temperatures reach up to 95. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 92.
This is Kyle, service manager from Burrell Heating and Air. Schedule an appointment from your mobile device to learn about our Total Comfort Service Program. With guaranteed same-day service, 15% off necessary repairs, and $25 berry bucks to use towards air filters and other products. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Burrell Heating and Air. Any day, anytime, anywhere. Online at BarronOAC.com.
Florida license CAC 1816-186.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Here's what you missed on the Greg Tish Show.
We need to have history. We need to have literature. It deserves an explanation. We don't need to be promoting lifestyles that come into play for your average elementary school.
Well, I had an experience with this. When my daughter was in school, her teacher gave her a book to read, but then she asked me what the C word is.
That was in the book.
That was in the book.
Okay, so talking about the C word. So you're talking about conservatives, right?
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3.
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Got some questions we can get to at the chat, on the chat, I should say. Some of them are funny. By the way, did you see, Corey, this is right up your alley. Seminole Old School.
Okay, no.
I think we ought to call our 1-2 running back punch the
Trevaju crew.
Yeah.
Okay. Not deja vu.
Yeah. You get it? You got it.
Treja vu. He spelled the va.
Well, you know, he's just
Treja vu is not bad at all. That's that might be a leader in the club.
You
I think I like that
one,
better
huh?
than Trey Bien or Trey McPhee.
Ian wants to know why they don't practice in the heat. They do. It's hot as Hades out there, Ian. Trust me, it's like 95 and humid.
And here's something else I was thinking about when it comes to that. They're only going to have probably one game in impossible heat, and that's the Duquesne game, which you hope if they play well, nobody's going to be playing more than 50 snaps, 55 snaps anyway. The next one's in a dome. The one after that is 2 weeks later in Kentucky, and your first home game is October 1st, which is probably still going to be warm in Tallahassee, but it's not going to be 100 degrees.
And they're not exactly practicing in 52-degree temperatures inside the practice facility there.
That's still pretty warm.
No,
there.
I mean,
it's still warm, but yeah, 3:30 in the afternoon would be a little bit different.
it would be hotter, but not exceedingly so. By the time we get out there
And you
to
also
the
have to deal with
outdoor segment,
thunderstorms.
right? Well, that's
Thunderstorms.
every day. That is also the answer, Ian, is because it is freaking lightning and raining every day.
Which is why I
we
love
had
the
2 days
5
in July
p.m.
where it didn't rain. Did you know that? 2?
The 5 p.m. start time for the opener. No way there's a lightning delay or a weather delay for that one, huh?
Man.
Storms never roll through Tallahassee right around evening time.
I'm going to do the pregame show from Hotel Indigo.
Oh, yeah.
And then take it to the hizzy.
Are we gonna? Is it going to be where you have to be a
lightning delays for Duquesne? Not doing it. Not going to do it.
Do you have to be a Warchant member to come to Hotel Indigo?
I don't think so.
Well, you should have to be because we're giving it away for $1.
Well, that's a different point altogether and a good one, and I'll emphasize it momentarily. But just so everybody knows, no, you don't have to be a Warchant member to.
But it would really help.
We'll treat you better.
Yeah, we'll judge you
if
you're not.
Yeah.
Because if you're not paying $1 for a year of content,
It's $1.
then
it's $1.
You may not be the sharpest.
Warchant.com on 3, $1 for 1 year. Now this we don't know, guys. This is limited time only.
Yeah.
I've been told a bunch that it could end any day.
They
now.
could pull it during the
minute.
show.
It could happen.
Yeah.
Like next hour, it may not be.
You could be the last person to get it.
If Corey clears his throat one more time.
Oh, that's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure.
Calling all FSU fans. $1, 1 year.
Yep.
$1.
You can either type in warchant.com to your browser. You can go to Google, not those other ones that we were talking about before the show.
That's right.
You go to Google, just type in Warchant on 3. It's going to take you to our site. It's a big old button there. Click. You get it for $1. You get you get so much more than what we give you here. We're giving this away for free, essentially. But what we do on warchant.com, we get much more detailed analysis.
Google now rules the world, of course. But what was your favorite search?
Well, so this is what is what we were talking about before the show. Has there ever been an industry? So we're old enough that we know when Google was created.
I also remember when there were no computers.
Well, that is right. When the dinosaurs roamed the earth,
that's
just
right.
in war games.
But everything was in DOS.
Yeah.
But when we had search engines before Google.
Oh, lots of them.
Yahoo and
they were always battling it out.
Ask Jeeves or whatever the hell it was. And then Google comes out and Google's like, this is what a search engine should be. I'm going to type in something and it's going to bring me directly to exactly the thing I'm asking for, not to some other crap that these other search engines will do. But did you realize that in 2022, these other search engines still exist and they still all suck? Like Google's the only one that really works.
Google Chrome is what I use.
Well, that's the browser, actually.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, which comes with the Google search.
The search engine is mine automatically defaults to Bing, which is just ridiculous. I don't know that Bing. What are their corporate offices?
That's why
is it in a strip mall?
Did you ever use Alta Vista?
Oh yeah.
Oh, a little Alta Vista for that ass.
And that's my question.
Yeah.
That's my question though. Is Alta Vista still there? Like
I don't know.
When Google came out and became Google, should everybody else have just shut their doors and said, "Okay, all right, you guys"?
I think they learned pretty quickly. They should have. Yes,
they're
in
not
trouble.
putting a lot of effort into it. Basically,
man, that's gotta be tough walking into Alta Vista every day for work.
You hear what they're doing over at Google, John?
People are. Actually,
I think we're in trouble. I think we're in real trouble.
We might have to shut her down here.
Oh, so that's where we're at. Anyhow, Yahoo I used Yahoo for a long time.
Everybody had the Yahoo Mail. I still have my old Yahoo Mail account.
So there you go.
On
Nice.
the side,
Nice. I understood. You
Timmy writes,
burner email. Yeah, you don't see that a lot.
Timmy writes, "Damn, y'all are old."
No doubt.
Yeah, baby.
No doubt.
Especially
I'd say more experience. We're experienced.
Aside from that, back to the football at hand. I do get excited every time I see.
I had something I wanted to say. I'm going to interrupt you completely. You're done.
Please do. Here we go.
So say they go 8-4.
Seems like you had something to say too.
It's fine. He gets to talk all the time.
Yeah, I'll get to do it here in a second.
Say they go 8-4 this year, which would be a good season, I think.
It'd be a great season.
Thinking of what they will return next year, because literally they don't have a ton of seasons.
Well, okay, this does feed into my point. He accidentally did this. This is good. I think their offensive line next year is going to be legitimately good.
That's what I'm saying.
Legitimately good.
And the entire backfield will come back. Though the entire receiving core could come back. You're going to lose some stuff on defense, but you can replace. It's a dime. Tatum Bethune's are a dime a dozen. You just go get yourself another one. But on offense, if they have a good year on offense and they bring almost all of those guys back, even if you're breaking in a new quarterback, You're gonna 8-4 with, I don't know, 14 returning starters. You're gonna feel like, okay, you are gonna be legitimately excited about contending for something.
Better keep everybody happy, because the portal doesn't just swing one way; it goes both ways. And Florida State hasn't had a lot of attractive guys that could have been potentially in the portal.
Yeah, but they're starting to.
That could change.
Rising Spirit will have a lot of work to do in other entities, but I would just tell you that, again, when I'm at practice, I do think a lot about this year, just like everybody else does. That's pressing. But I really do look at that depth of the offensive line and some of the talent that's coming down the pike. And I have not been able to say this with a straight face in a long time. They legitimately have 4 or 5 guys that are not going to play this year, or if they do, it's limited, right? That I'm really excited about on the offensive line. I mean, are good players, not guys like, oh, he's better than him. Luckily, we'll be able to supplant his ass next year. No, not that conversation. Like, dude's good. People don't look like that. You know, like that body type and all. There's 4 to 5 guys like that will be starting next year. Knock on wood. You don't want to have to start those guys this year. Some of them might get thrust into action. But the truth is, if you stay relatively healthy up front, you've got 4 or 5 guys behind this starting group that are going to be good football players. And I make a joke on my show all the time that we started out with ass sorry, then just sorry, and then butt ass, it was butt ass sorry, and all that. We might be good on the offensive line start next year.
And then you have a good offense.
Well, yeah, by definition, you're in pretty good shape.
And I think the one other thing I like about them, not just the body types, but also the fact that they seem to be there's some scrappiness to them. There's some what for about them. I go back to about 3 or 4 years ago when a starting offensive tackle here got punched by a defensive end in practice, went down, got up, and just walked away. And I remember thinking, well, that's not good. If that's your starting,
ideal.
That's when your starting tackle gets punched in the face, goes down, gets up, and just walks away.
Well, he didn't quite walk away because then they had to hold hands and walk.
Well, they did have to hold
field.
hands after that was Willie's thing, but
they held hands and walked around the practice field.
But anyway, so yeah, I questioned a little bit the
what
there.
Literally the fight.
Talking about it.
Yeah.
That's so sad. I mean, it's a little bit like prison, young man. You can't just walk away there. Even if you think you're going to get your ass kicked, you've got to come back at him.
Then Willie made him come back over and walk hand in hand together.
No.
So yeah, this is again like a good example. One of the guys you're talking about, Julian Armella, is
tough.
I mean, he'll go at Jared Verse, get his butt kicked, but then go right back at him again. And that's what you want to see.
And there's a bunch of guys that are young in that group that I think, wow, he's got an attitude. Hey, listen, I think Schrader, in my mind, he may have to rep this year, but he's a year away. He got, obviously delayed by that injury where he could have put on the requisite strength, but he's already technically savvy, understands the game, has the body type for it, and has an attitude for it. He's perfect for that. Estes has the attitude for it. May have to play this year, and he might be ready to play this year, but if not, it would be ideal to wait one more year. He's a big, strong dude, and he's a bit of an a-hole. And I mean it in a good way. When you watch those one-on-one battles, when you watch the trenches go at each other, there's a whole lot of give and take, a whole lot of what for, a whole lot of extracurricular. It's intense.
And that was Dylan Gibbons brought a lot to this offensive line last year, which, Corey didn't think was going to happen, but he did.
Right.
But one of the biggest things I think was that nastiness. I mean, Dylan Gibbons is the guy that's pushing after a pile. He's the guy, he might get a penalty once in a while for it, but he brings that. And I think it's good for those young guys to see that, because that's how he is. Yeah,
you watch all the best offensive line groups, whether it's the NFL or in college, they're often described by announcers as nasty. It's nasty. Like there's always a little what for. I obviously I'm a Bucs fan. You think about Jensen. That's a tough loss.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's a jerk.
He gets into a fight every game.
But he is going to protect his guy, and there's going to be a little extra something at the end of the play.
Incognito.
Oh, that guy. Did he just retire?
Who knows?
He played like 30 years, it seems like.
Yeah.
Didn't he get banned from the league?
He did for a year and a half and came
and
back.
then played another decade.
Yeah,
banned from certain states. I think. He's not allowed in certain states.
That's not going to end well for him.
Probably.
But he had a very prosperous career. Yes. And they welcomed him back.
So you'd like a little of that edge.
Yeah. I don't need the off the field edge. I need the on the field edge. And there was a lot of that with them. They have recruited. I always talk about the dough that they have to work with, that Alex Atkins has to work with. It's a better quality dough that he's got to work with.
And he's got good enough guys now, the veteran guys,
to not have to play those guys.
And they can learn from them. They can learn from this. You're not thrust into action, but you also
he's a
get
great
to learn.
teacher. I know we brag on him a lot. He's a great teacher. It's my favorite part of practice, just listening to him teach, listening to him get after guys. It's a perfect mix of, fatherly love at times, intense coaching, There's a scolding element to things too. If you don't do it right, then there's also that pull you aside. Okay, look, you're not understanding me. Let me show you this. I mean, it's all there with him. He's perfect in that way because there's such a balance of his coaching techniques.
He's got a great combination of as a communicator. He grew up in Chicago, so he's been through some things.
He's seen some things
growing up in Chicago, but he's coached in the South. He's got a really good demeanor where people like him. People just like talking to him. But so you assume that that's how he is. But then when you watch him coach, and yeah, man, it's a different dude on that field, and he's kind of got some Odell to him in that kind of nature, a different way about it, but similar.
I've always
results.
said all players will deal with being scolded, yelled at, talked down to, even to certain degrees, if they believe the guy doing it loves them. If he's shown that he cares deeply about your success, about your future on and off the field, if that's all in place, coaches can almost say anything. Yeah. Mickey Andrews said crazy things to his players, but they knew he loved them.
Yeah. That's why you've always been okay with Jeff. I mean, Jeff, some of those early meetings we would have after the show.
And I would scold him as much as, is that what you're talking about? Where I would just scold him and call him. I'd say you're worthless.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to hurt your feelings, but you were worthless.
I'm older and bigger than you. That never happened.
Fair. Good point.
But no, I had a coach, anybody who played any organized sport had a guy that could be tough, right? It would yell at you and it'd be embarrassing, especially if he singled you out in a team sport. But if you thought it was coming from a place of love and trust and that he cared deeply about your success, then you're like, all right, well, I got to do better. You never wanted to let that guy down. He's a coach that strikes me as that those guys never want to let him down. And you watch the intensity with the focus. Like some coaches, I mean, I'm not naming anybody on our staff here at Florida State, but I will say there were coaches that just yelled and they were yelling to yell because nobody paid attention.
Yeah.
Then there are coaches that yell and everybody paid
attention. And he doesn't even yell that much. It's pointed words. Yeah. It's pointed words, but he's not, but he is instructing a lot. And you also tell them when they sucked on a particular route. I mean, he'll say that's not good enough. That sucked. But he'll give them enough positive reinforcement, I think, especially probably in the film room.
Who was the freshman that he's told him his film was awful? When we did the interviews with the freshmen this summer, one of them, I think, I don't know if it was Kenya.
It was the kid. Yeah, I can't remember. It might have been Charlton. It was somebody that played in the state championship.
A lot, by the way, I like him a lot.
And when
whoever's from Texas, because he said he played in the state.
Early.
He played in the state championship game and said, "Man, your film was awful. Your film was awful." And he said 2 years later, that was as a sophomore. So as a senior, he was a much better football player.
It's fun to hear that. I love it. I mean, that's the fun stuff. Like in movies about the military, any of the drill sergeants that are good. I mean, obviously, Full Metal Jacket.
Dude, my buddy Mike and Armando went in the Marines out of high school, and Mike's girlfriend, they didn't end up not staying together, but his girlfriend sent him some gum. So they made him chew the gum and put it on his nose, like when they were doing their drill stuff. And so he wrote her back. He's like, "Do not send me gum.
Never again."
And she sent him more gum.
Well, she must not.
They're not married.
Yeah, I was going to say
that's not going to work out. It's not going to work out at all. Hour number 2, headliner questions forthcoming. Stay with.
Many orthodontists in Tallahassee can straighten a smile, but at Birch Orthodontics, they're dedicated to providing the finest care possible. The experienced and friendly staff is trained in all of the latest techniques. So whether you need standard treatment like braces or Invisalign, or you have a more complicated case requiring extra attention, Birch Orthodontics is here for you. Set up your free consultation today by visiting birchorthodontics.com, BURCH orthodontics.com, or call 850-877-1692. At Birch Orthodontics, they create beautiful smiles that last a lifetime.
Well. Hey, Jeff, look at this place.
Yeah. Well, doing well. It's been a while since I've seen you, brother, but, it hasn't been a while since I've been over to Gordo's. I go there on the regular because of you, Eddie.
Well, we keep you regular.
Well, that's true, but I think of Gordo's as a place to sit down, have a cold beer, talk to your friends, enjoy the sports, eat the delicious food. But I think of you as Uncle Eddie, a man who takes care of his people and takes care of the town.
I appreciate that, Jeff. Hey, and we'll keep you regular.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The weather is unpredictable and can cause issues around your home. Weston Trawick provides commercial, residential, and industrial electrical wiring services, yearly inspections on fire alarms, portable generator sales, and so much more. With 24/7 emergency service and repair, Weston Trawick will be your calm in the storm. Give them a call at 514-0003. Weston Trawick, professional electrical services day or night. Visit online at westontrawick.com.
Hearth and Patio wants you to know now is the time to start thinking about your fireplaces. Yes, we know that temperatures are going to be in the mid to upper 90s for the next couple months, but now is the time to start thinking about upgrading those fireplaces. You're not going to be using them. Get those fireplaces upgraded now. They can repair all makes and models of fireplaces. 850-727-4282. That's 850-727-4282. Or visit them online at hearthpatiotallahassee.com.
Football at El Jalisco, football at El Jalisco, what a combination. It's a great big celebration. It's football at El Jalisco.
I can dig it. Who's playing?
Oh, man, everybody. The ACC, the SEC, all the C's, and even the pros. The Bucks, the Steelers, the Giants, the Cowboys.
Wow, far out.
You bet, man. When the game is on, it's on at El Jalisco with incredible specials on everything from frosty cervezas to salty margaritas.
Does Margarita know?
Dios mío, not again. The best place to watch the game is El Jalisco. College, pros, Monday night, Thursday night, you name it, El Jalisco is football headquarters. And with 5 Tallahassee area locations, there's probably an El Jalisco right
Coming
around
up
the
next,
corner
more of the
right
Jeff
now.
Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT, Greta, Tallahassee.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. First Lady Jill Biden has tested positive for COVID-19. Her office says the First Lady tested positive for the coronavirus after developing cold-like symptoms Monday night. She's fully vaccinated and boosted and only experiencing mild symptoms. She's been prescribed a course of Paxlovid and will isolate from others for at least 5 days. The Justice Department rebuffing an effort to make public the affidavit supporting the search warrant for former President Trump's estate in Florida.
The probe implicates highly classified material, and the affidavit contains sensitive information about witnesses, so say prosecutors in court papers filed on Monday. The government's opposition came in response to court filings by several news outlets, including the AP. News organizations want to unseal the underlying affidavit submitted by the Justice Department.
Correspondent Andrew Stewart in Washington. In a statement on his social media platform, Mr. Trump called for the release of the unredacted affidavit in the interest of transparency. Also at townhall.com, a growing list of conservative Republicans being subpoenaed to appear before an Atlanta grand jury for challenging the 2020 election results in Georgia.
A growing list on Monday already included the names of South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham and former Trump attorney Rudy Giuliani. The list also includes Republican Congressman Jody Hice of Georgia and Governor Brian Kemp. The names were assembled by the Fulton County District Attorney, who accused the Republicans of misusing the law to make false claims of election fraud. However, several recent polls show some 1/3 of all Americans and roughly 2/3 of Republicans suspect irregularities helped Joe Biden win the White House. Bob Agnew reporting.
And stocks have moved higher now. The Dow up 317 points, the NASDAQ 16 points higher. More at townhall.com.
I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 3388 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 3388. Enjoy.
Wooden Glass has been taking care of families since 1945.
Experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best, like Wooden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Wooden Glass, and they provide precise installation.
Wooden Glass, Tallahassee's first family in glass. Online at woodenglass.com. Call 850-222-5781.
Many orthodontists in Tallahassee can straighten a smile, but at Birch Orthodontics, they're dedicated to providing the finest care possible. The experienced and friendly staff is trained in all of the latest techniques. So whether you need standard treatment like braces or Invisalign, or you have a more complicated case requiring extra attention, Birch Orthodontics is here for you. Set up your free consultation today by visiting birchorthodontics.com, BURCH orthodontics.com, or call 850-877-1692. At Birch Orthodontics, they create beautiful smiles that last a lifetime.
It's time for Seminole Headlines, featuring Warchant.com's Jeff Cameron, managing editor Ira Schofel, and senior writer Corey Clark. Your weekly dose of all things FSU, pistols, and pies starts right now. Here's Jeff Cameron.
Hour number 2, headliner questions coming your way. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Jeff. Ira and Corey are here this hour, brought to you by Birch Orthodontics. I straight whiffed on a Birch Orthodontics appointment. I just failed to remember that my youngest son was due, and I feel terrible about it.
Yikes.
But they'll forgive me. I've given them a lot of money, small fortune.
Yeah.
And we've helped build that into the empire that it is.
It's a monster because of us and her expertise.
But you should show up for the appointments.
Yeah, I just driving on down the road.
Isn't that on Christy at this point, though?
I always blame my wife for any missed appointment that I have.
Your kid should have reminded you.
But he's the youngest son.
Still.
Yeah.
He's in middle school. Hey, Dad, don't we have an appointment?
Yeah, he should know.
Yeah.
But I think the safe thing to do for all men is to blame the women in their lives. And I do. I do. Yeah. Like, well, babe, what else do I have to do? I pay the mortgage around these parts. I bring home. What am I supposed to do?
I'm not trying to bring up something that might be controversial, but maybe it doesn't happen with Marilyn.
With Dr.
Whatever name, Dr. Cologne. Yeah, maybe that doesn't happen. Maybe
We'll never know. We'll never know.
Won't.
As I've been happily married for almost 17 years now. We'll never know. Yeah.
The Birch Orthodontics, birchorthodontics.com is the website. You got me rattled for
Sorry.
Jeff.
Yeah, sorry. Well, I know literally there's no chance she'll hear this.
Well, not at this point. You're making it a point that it probably will get back to her. Yeah.
Birchorthodontics.com is the
she
website.
has your number.
They will, she can.
Yes.
Yeah, you'd be more scared of Christy than Jeff.
I know.
If you need consultation for orthodontic work for you or your kids or your family, anybody, grandparents, there's no age limit on having good teeth. And Birch Orthodontics.
I don't know about getting braces like in your 70s.
What do you think? Do you think Dr. Birch would say, look, I'm just not doing this?
I mean, I just feel like as a 76-year-old or something, you'd be like, I'm not. What is the point?
There's a certain age where they won't perform surgery on old people just because of the possibility they don't wake up.
Yeah, but braces is not.
Braces isn't that.
No, I'm just saying. Like, I don't know. Is there an age?
Look, if you're a 75-year-old and maybe moving down to the villages, and you've heard how they roll down to the villages, and you've got some crooked teeth.
Yeah, you can't have it.
And you're now on the market.
You're ready to do some things.
Dr. Birch will take care of it, I think.
I like that. I like to where your head's at.
I just feel like you'd have done it. You'd have knocked it out sometime.
No, maybe they couldn't. Maybe they couldn't.
Okay.
Maybe they
couldn't afford it. Came into some money.
Okay.
Hit the Powerball.
Now they're going to the villages and they want to get it on.
But next time you guys see Heather, I'll ask her the oldest person she's ever worked on.
Because I don't think she's an ageist.
Oh, she shouldn't be.
I would be at some
show.
point. I would be at some point. Like if a lady came or a man, it doesn't matter. See, I was being a sexist there. But if anybody came into my office and I was an orthodontist and they were like 91 and they said, I really want to straighten it up here. I'd be like,
how many teeth
for what purpose? For the grave? What do we do?
It's gonna be an open casket.
Yeah, what are we doing?
It's gonna be open mouth casket.
Oh,
I didn't mean I wasn't being gross.
There's got to be a number of teeth you actually still have to have for it to be a feasible.
Right.
But anyway.
I used to root to have my teeth removed. I used to say to my mom, like, this is a cumbersome thing. I hate going to the dentist. I don't want to, I got to floss. That sucks. Can't we just put some good ones in here and glue them in? Like Corey's got a bunch of glued in teeth.
They're all, they're cemented in, but
that's what I want to do.
Those are the brawls back on Jimmy Carter Boulevard.
I wish my teeth would just fall the hell out so I could put some shiny white ones and just be done with it.
Hey, so are you going to, how are we going to go with the questions? Are we doing rapid fire?
I'm not saying, no.
I'll
go rapid fire now.
I just asked.
I got a good night's rest last night. I'm good to go. I drank a cup of coffee.
Corey, what do you think?
I'll go. I'd like rapid fire for one segment. Do rapid fire.
Well, we're going to go back and forth with it.
Sure.
If we do that, I cannot guarantee that I will get to every Facebook and or Twitter question, guys.
It's fine. We did our part.
Just so we know. Terry writes, gentlemen, good afternoon. It's been a minute. I was holding my breath for the unicorn to show up for fall camp, and I passed out. Since we are still in hypothetical season, who is more likely to play it down at Florida State University, Destin Hill or Travis Hunter? Travis Hunter. You concur. Butch writes, hello, boys.
Good
every
question,
day.
though.
Yeah, it's a fun one. Hello, boys. Every day during fall camps, you mentioned how there are certain restrictions about what you can say or not say from each practice. I'm curious, has the coaching staff or FSU football staff brought the war chant or any other media members into their offices for something said or written? Intrigued how the FSU media is monitored when they are provided such phenomenal access. Take care. Yeah. He's addressed the entirety of the media relatively recently and just said, hey, guys, I don't want to have to take this away. He's very good about that. There's been some things lately that were said. He doesn't get specific to any one group, at least not when we're all collectively there. And I need you guys to I just want to remind you of the rules.
Yeah, and it wasn't a thread. It was like, here's the deal. We do this. I want to do this because I think it's good for you to tell our player stories. But if it becomes a situation where we feel like so much information is getting out where it's going to hurt our players,
then we'll stop doing it.
Then we're going to stop doing it. But he said it was not close to that, but he just wanted to clear the air. They will also, they have a sports information staff.
They'll call you.
They will call us individually if something looks like it may have skewed across the line and ask you to maybe tone that down a little bit.
I've only had one instance in which I was not by this staff, but called on the carpet and like screamed at, but that was Jimbo. And he did that with everybody at varying points. So there's that. Kristen writes, as much as we are so ready for the 2022 season and say it's important, I argue that 2023 is what we are really waiting for. If we win 6 or less, 2023 is all about new coach and the great start all over. If we win 7 or more, we await 2023 to see if they can build up on it and go to 9-3, or was it just a fluke? Well, I'll worry about that when we get there. Let's get to 8 this year and then talk about how important or not important the next one is.
Sure. I was thinking about that though. Like, say he does go 6-6. I know you say he's a dead man walking.
Well,
you say that he has to win this year, and clearly he better. But I wonder if they go the Stoops model at Kentucky, because he struggled for quite a while at Kentucky, and now I don't know whatever. I only know it because of that weird Twitter feud he got in with Calipari. Where he was, we
didn't wake up on third base,
patting himself on the back for what he's done, which is good. I mean, he has done a lot there, but it's been 10 years. First 5 years weren't great. Then last year I think they won 10 games.
Yeah, but I think that obviously the obvious difference is Kentucky was not Florida State football.
I was going to say Kentucky could not fall back on any 40 straight years of great football.
No, I get it. The expectations are, but I would argue that the team that Mike Norvell took over in 2020 at Florida State
was as bad or worse than
Kentucky. Bad as whatever Stoops took over in 2013 at Kentucky.
And I would also say that, there's a lot of good things. Again, we get asked the question so much, not as much anymore, but for a long time we got the question last season, why did Willie only get 2 years and why is Mike Norvell not going to be held to that standard? Well, the difference is all the stuff behind the scenes, the way practices are run, all of the things trending in the right direction is different now than it was under Willie. The other thing I would say, Dominic Robinson, who's going to be doing those game day watch-alongs for us at warchant.com.
Awesome. His insight will be greatly appreciated.
It will be really cool. Yeah.
And he made a comment to me. We were talking back in the spring, and I was talking to him about hiring a new coach, and he said, to me, the biggest thing you need to look for when you're hiring a new coach is the coach you're going to give the most time to. Like, if this is somebody that you're not going to give enough time to,
then like him to begin with. Yeah.
You need to, whoever, and it's not just the administration, but that the fan base, that everybody, that should be a requirement when hiring somebody. How much time are we going to give them, and can we afford to do that? And I think that's an interesting perspective.
Well, here's something else that y'all probably don't want me bringing this up, but I'm doing it because I'm provocateur.
You are.
I say that about him.
And a rockin' tour.
Florida State goes 6-6. Jackson State's going to go undefeated this year. They just are. And in his last 2 years, he'll have gone 21-1. And he's one of your all-time greats. And he wanted the job ahead of time. And if he's interested again, and you're bringing the players over with him that he certainly would bring, I think that throws something into the mix that maybe you wouldn't have thought of last year, the year before.
It'll get mentioned.
Yep. I mean, it will. It has to. It will.
Yeah.
So,
Hunter writes, I understand new car smell, but why are people so high on Miami again? Their new coach is a run-first guy, and their offensive line was not great last year, didn't get upgraded this year. And add on top, no real number one receiver or big-name tight end. To wrap it up, their D was terrible.
Their D wasn't terrible.
Their D wasn't terrible. They do have a very good tight end, and their quarterback is real good.
Yeah.
Their quarterback is real good. You can just keep going. That's why. Their quarterback is really good.
And they went out and made some nice acquisitions in the portal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Florida State did. We all know that, but Miami did as well. And there's talent there.
And Cristobal has a nice history. I mean, a pretty good history, right, of what he's done with offensive lines for sure. And Oregon was pretty good while he was there. So
yeah, listen, I don't think Miami's a juggernaut, but I don't think the Coastal's any good. So they have every bit reason to believe that they could win the Coastal.
I'm going to answer Quay in the chat real quick. He's asked a couple times if we're all in the same room. We're in 2 rooms. Corey and I are in one side of a glass window in the studio.
I can't get my hand over there, but my hand. Look, we just
hold hands there.
We just did that.
Wait, why you pull away?
That was weird. You wouldn't let go.
And
but I am capable. I'm capable at any second just standing up and being inside in that room.
Come and get some.
30 seconds.
Come and get
Less
some.
than 30 seconds. 10 seconds.
That glass isn't going to protect you.
Yeah,
it's weird. Seconds. It's weird. We don't have a lock on that door.
Yeah, that's true. I should say I shouldn't say Jackson State's definitely going undefeated. They got to play FAMU early on in the season. They only beat them last year 7-6. Oh, Coach Simmons has got it going over FAMU.
I was going to say I kind of
that's
took
not
umbrage
a
with
guarantee.
Your
that was my fault.
there, by the
that
way,
was my fault.
but,
I just feel like they're very good and they got really good players.
All right, here we go. Ryan writes, fellas, time for my annual preseason question since Bradley Chubb lifted his leg on the logo. What separates this team from recent teams if they get down 14-3 early in New Orleans, or the Louisville game starts out like last year's game did?
Let me say this.
It's a great question, by the way, Ryan.
Who goes and gets
if that happens, I do feel like there's more guys on this team that would do something about
I feel like half the guys on the team.
It's a little different in that regard.
Who was it after the Florida game?
That ran out.
It was Travis. Who was it? Wasn't Travis J?
It might have been Travis J.
In 18? He wasn't here in 18.
He's been here forever. He was redshirting.
But they all partied on the logo.
They got planting their flags.
Yeah. Was that 18 or 19? That was 18, right?
I think so.
Yeah. And nobody, there was only one guy that ran out. Now, a lot of them were in the locker room already, but I would think there'd be half the team would be rolling out to midfield to tackle Chubb.
Yeah. And to the point, I mean, that's what all of this is. I mean, so much of camp isn't about putting in plays and executing plays. So much of it is trying to instill that toughness. It was a big talking point last week. I mean, we can debate whether or not we believe it, but that is how it's built. Coaching staffs, they build toughness by putting them in situations during practice.
Well, and also maybe some pride of where you play and who you play for.
Well, that's where putting in that
brotherhood.
Effort, embracing the guy next to you, seeing them work just as hard as you, surviving a really rugged camp, having a coach challenge you, and then winning some damn games, man. You start to build confidence. They don't have a lot of confidence. They haven't had a reason to have a lot of confidence. I think that question's great for a lot of reasons because I think they're better. We agree in a lot of areas, and we are assuming they're going to be a better football team this year. But they don't have a ton of things to build off of that if they get down against the first good team they play, that they can fall back on and say, well, this happened here, and we won that game. They came back and made some games close. Right. They didn't win those games. They didn't beat Clemson. They didn't beat Florida. They didn't beat Louisville, the team that came back on the second half. They didn't beat Notre Dame when they came back in the first into overtime in that game. They lost those games.
But they also didn't wilt. They didn't just roll over.
Great. You competed, but you got at some point.
Can you continue to execute when the emotions might get you to compete, but can you execute? And that's where the Florida game, I thought they got emotional and they forgot to execute.
Yeah, but even that one, they're down 24-7, and at least came down to an onside kick that went an inch, which is still a record. That will never be broken, by the way. The shortest onside kick in history.
Hey, did we look in the annals of college football to see did somebody ever whiff completely?
Then it wouldn't count, would it? It'd just be offsides. You need to do it again. You have to make contact. He made as little of contact as possible.
That's the thing. Like,
it's an art.
If you whiff, you're fine.
Yeah.
But he didn't. He actually hit the ball, which is hard.
Just
to do.
nudged it, just a little dash.
Do you think
right
if you're
there at
his
the tip.
dad, like just to humble him from time to time, you just go, let's go here, look at this. Let's take a look at this.
That's not a dad's job necessarily.
Maybe.
But I
if the
was
kid's
going to
getting a
say, like what they did last year, going 0-4 and bouncing back the way they did. I think that builds belief. North Carolina, they got down by 10 early and won that game, scored 35 of the next something points. Miami, they were down. They gave up a big lead and got down by 8 late and went back and won that game. So they do have some history of answering and responding. And that's what he's so big on responding. I think that just the overall course of the season to go 0-4 and then respond the way they did, I think that builds some belief going into this season.
Gator Kirk writes, and we'll ask this before breaking here, so I'll leave it to you guys. You guys get this. Good day, gentlemen. Since JC is the only member of Warchant without a title, what title would you choose for him?
Oh boy,
because I'm the managing editor. You're senior writer.
Senior writer.
Very.
I'm
senior
the host.
Seniors.
I'm the host of the Jeff Cameron Show.
But I mean, you got to have something.
You're
to
a utility guy.
Yeah, but that's not a name.
Yeah, utility guy.
Give him one of those crazy football games, like director of radio ops.
I like it.
You're the director of radio operations for Warchant.
Sports information director for Warchant.
No, just director of radio ops. You don't dole out a lot of information. That's Ira's job.
Multimedia commissioner. I like commissioner in the title somehow. And I'll call him Mr. Commissioner.
I like. All right. Okay.
You can be the
Commish, host of the wildly popular Jeff Cameron Show, could be across the bottom of
wildly popular in quotes. Czar's a good name for you too.
Could do that. Host of the highest rated show in Tallahassee radio history. That's true too. You could just do that one.
Well,
that works.
Can we keep doing this? I like this. I like. We can keep doing. Yeah, there it is.
During the break, I'm going to come up with the. With that, how to
former Mr. Cologne or whatever he could have been called.
Seminole Headlines 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV.
Football at El Jalisco, football at El Jalisco, what a combination. It's a great big celebration. It's football at El Jalisco.
They can dig it. Who's playing?
Oh, man, everybody. The ACC, the SEC, all the C's, and even the pros. The Bucks, the Steelers, the Giants, the Cowboys.
Wow, far out.
You bet, man. When the game is on, it's on at El Jalisco with incredible specials on everything from frosty cervezas to salty margaritas.
Does Margarita know?
Dios mío, not again. The best place to watch the game is El Jalisco. College, pros, Monday night, Thursday night, you name it, El Jalisco is football headquarters. And with 5 Tallahassee area locations, there's probably an El Jalisco right around the corner right now.
Hi, this is Dr. Marianne Arbalou, candidate for the Leon County School Board District 1. Did you know that our schools are experiencing academic and financial declines? Evidence that we need a leadership change. With my credentials, skills, and diverse work experience, I will strive to improve the use of your tax dollars. We've had enough tax increases. I will work to increase experiential learning opportunities. We know that students learn better by doing, and we should create more entrepreneurial programs where students learn about business and don't simply get jobs, but become job creators. I will be transparent and accountable. Your voice matters, and I want to rebuild trust. And I'll advocate for better salary and career initiatives for all staff, focusing on more support for our teachers. My name is Marianne Arbalou, and I'm asking for your vote on August 23rd for Leon County School Board District 1. Thank you.
Paid for and approved by Marianne Arbalou for Leon County School Board District 1.
If you're hearing this right now and you or someone you know is active military, a veteran, police officer, firefighter, nurse, or a teacher, turn up the volume and listen to this. My friend Shannon with Legendary Home Loans has a hometown hero loan program designed to make a difference to those who make a difference. When it's time to buy a new home, he will waive all lender fees for all hometown heroes. That's a $1,600 value right out of the gate. Also, if you decide to use their preferred title company for their closing, you'll be saving another $600. That's $2,200 in discounts right off the top. That's like 20 tanks of gas in your car. And today, more than ever, it's important to save as much money as you can, wherever you can. So if you or someone you know is active military, veteran, police officer, firefighter, nurse, or a school teacher and looking to buy a new home, choose Shannon Young, Legendary Home Loans, and ask about their Hometown Heroes program. Call 844-FSU-LOAN or just visit FSUHomeLoans.com. That's FSUHomeLoans.com.
Equal housing lender. NMLS number 2270146.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus, happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas Wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
It's a fun question here. I like this one right off the bat. Jared writes, what's the Seminole Headlines game plan if the following happens? A, FSU leads Duquesne 14-7 at halftime.
Oh.
Then B, Florida beats Utah 41-14. And finally, C, LSU beats us 31-7.
Those are three different scenarios or one scenario?
No, okay. What's the Seminole Headlines game plan if the following happens?
Okay.
So all three of these things are
That's
to happen.
an uplifting question.
Yeah. Well, what would be the game plan? We'll vet that situation. We'll talk about those games, although we may not mention Florida beating Utah 41-14 because that's somewhat irrelevant to Florida State. Because given where Florida State plays Florida at the end of the year, we'd have a lot of time to get things worked out. The other two scenarios would be dire.
7 points in a game?
Well, no, that's halftime, 14.
No, I'm talking about the next one.
The next one where they score 7 against LSU and lose 31-7.
I do think of those scenarios, I think the one that I've actually thought about is what if they really get off to a slow start against Duquesne, which can happen in a season opener.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And maybe just miss a couple throws, and it's just kind of going into halftime or late in the second quarter, and it's 14-7, something in that ballpark. I do feel like there's going to be a lot of, we know the chatter that's going to be on social media
uneasy,
and all that stuff. But really, the only thing that matters is how the players respond and how they play in the second half and whether or not, because it's possible. I don't think that's going to happen. You'd love your team to get out of the box great in a season opener, but it doesn't always happen. It doesn't mean your season's over.
I will tell you, if it's 14-7 at halftime, we got a problem. Duquesne is not going to keep this game relatively close.
Let's hope not.
I'm willing to give you 24.
Oh, we're going to talk about the halftime line.
Okay.
I think 14-7 at half. You're still the 24 is still in play.
Not the halftime. Not the first
half.
half
You're talking about
first
the
half
okay,
line, man.
Right. I
No.
thought you said overall.
Also, by the way, if it's 14-7, I'm just telling you, no. I will legitimately, Jared. I will be very concerned if it is 14-7 at halftime against Duquesne.
What if they have 290 yards of offense? They've missed 2 field goals and had a crazy fumble going in the end
Stuff
zone.
can happen in the season opener.
Like if the offense is at least moving the ball and not doing what they did against Jacksonville State last year, which was 3 plays and punt, 3 plays and punt.
I'll be stunned. You could.
I'm more about the
more
the process than the result.
You've always been that way.
That's the thing. One thing Jimbo taught me was to concentrate more on the process. If the offense is moving up and down the field, the points will come eventually.
Let me ask you this: if you want to avoid a scenario where the angst-ridden hand wringing that we're talking about here, 14-7 would certainly, I think, cause that to be the case. You can line up and run the ball. You're going to be a running team anyhow. Your offensive line's better. You've got talented running backs. Jordan can obviously run as well. You could start this game running the ball down Duquesne's throat and get out to a lead, and then just do whatever you want.
And
I'm just telling you, you don't have to sling it around the lot, because if your timing's off in the passing game, Ira, you're absolutely right. If it's inclement weather, whatever it might be, have a couple empty series. That leads to the consternation of which we speak. You can line up and you physically beat somebody's ass and establish this is not a game, guys. You guys are not competing with us out here today. Then you get past all that nonsense and you get out to a 14-0 lead, then you do whatever the hell you want.
And as far as the other scenarios, again, whatever.
It wouldn't be a fun
Well,
show.
31-7 LSU is a problem. I mean, we do the show, but
It'd be a fun. It wouldn't be a fun show.
It would be. I mean, again,
it would highlight the importance of the Louisville game.
Yeah. At least get to double digits.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, 31-7 headed to Louisville, it'd be an interesting conversation.
Hey, we had a super sticker earlier from Rob
I missed it.
Rathbun.
Okay,
So appreciate it, Rob.
Oh,
Thanks
Rob
for your,
Rathbun. Yeah, he's on the Wake Up Show a lot.
Why am I
Good
missing
man,
Rob
good dude.
here? I'm missing Rob.
It's a little bit back. 2:05 p.m.
Oh, man.
Early.
This is early in the day here. I missed it. Yeah, there it is. Thank you, Rob. I thought there was a question. I was racing back there. It's just a super sticker.
Yeah.
Which isn't
Just
nothing.
showing the love.
It's important. I appreciate the love. Thank you very much.
Rob rarely asks questions.
He did
He's a
mention
giver,
that he
but
finally got his Apple Pay working again, so he's good.
Oh, there you go, Rob. Nice.
Thanks, Rob.
Okay, back to this. How much, this is from Josh, does a route tree does Deuce Spann really need to know to be used in a situational role? 3 to 5 scripted plays a game with his athleticism. It's not like he'll need to beat the average ACC corner with precision route running. Couldn't they just get away with having him run 3 routes, go deep post, bubble screen? They could, Josh, but ideally you want him to be a complete receiver, so you want to develop that aspect of his game because then he really becomes a massive threat throughout the course
He's starting
of the game.
to do it again.
He is starting to do it.
No, I was talking about you.
No.
You're answering so fast.
Well, I'm trying to get through. That was a lengthy question, but I thought it was a pertinent question, so I wanted to answer it. By
Sounds
the
like
way,
people are going to be listening to their podcast and thinking, did I hit it on 1.5 speed?
well, I just wanted to get to the question.
That was great. You
Trying to get
crushed
through
it.
By the way, I would say to you that he is more than just a 9
Yeah,
route.
and most importantly, he will be much more than that. And again, I think that's somebody a couple times we've been asked about comparing him to Tamori and Terry because of size and height and weight is similar. I think that's a big difference. I think Tamorian liked being the streak down the field,
loved it.
catch the home run,
Big play.
put on the
me.
mask,
Yeah.
throw up the deuces
Man, I forgot.
to the DB. I think
Scary Terry.
Deuce Spann seems to be, he wants to be a complete receiver. And again, that's where you say, you look at him, man, it's if he puts it together, that's a different kind of athlete.
And it's
wide
not,
receiver.
there's no way he doesn't know the routes to run. I mean, he's played football. He's played quarterback.
It's just not easy to do it.
Yes, it's about getting the experience of doing it in live competition. But he knows where he knows what the routes are. He knows the route tree. But yeah, it's the
you
experience.
You have to work to learn how to run them right,
and to know where the safety is. If they're playing a zone and you have an option, it's an option route. You have something like you have to know where to go, and that's the stuff about learning wide receiver. But I'm telling you today, that release he had, and I can't remember the cornerback that it was against, but that release he had
always has a good release. He always typically has a good release.
That's the stuff that he's not just a dude that can run fast. Like he's got some stuff,
But
to
he
him.
can run really fast, and that's important because
that
they don't have a
helps,
ton of those guys at receiver, and that's important. Jeff writes, if Ira is right and the Noles are absolutely a lock to go 9-3, is it more likely to be because the Noles are better than expected or that their opponents aren't as good as expected?
Who asked that question?
Jeff.
I think
Come
it's
on, Jeff.
Jeff knows. Jeff knows.
That's not what I said. I think I never said that.
But
I think
you
there's
are
a
bullish on the
chance.
Noles. You are bullish on the Noles.
I feel better about them than I have at any point since, I don't know, 2016.
It's been a minute, yeah.
And so, but yeah, no, I think it could be a combination of both. I just kicked my speakers. It could be a combination of both. That's the thing that nobody really we never talk about. Like, I think we look at every opponent and think, especially as you start looking at the year and you start worrying about possible consequences. What happens if this doesn't work out the way I hope? Well, not every team's going to be their best either. Not everything's going to go right for these other. Florida State's had a couple of injuries. Other teams have injuries too. Other teams have situations arise where, you may not get the best effort from all of those teams. So that's why I don't think it's unreasonable. Could they beat, if every team they played their best, could they get to 9 wins? Probably not. But I think that doesn't mean that may not happen.
Yeah,
some of those guys may be down.
Well, I'll start right off the bat. A game that would have been at best 50-50. In fact, I think you'd have been an underdog preseason anyhow. You already probably caught a break. It doesn't look like Sam Hartman will be back in time for the Wake Forest game. That guy is that offense. He's unreal as a passer. Think about his numbers
Perfect
last
for that
year.
system.
Perfect for that system. Really good. If he doesn't play and they come to town, you better damn well win that game.
Yeah, that's more of like a 90-10 at that point.
It's
You better
already
win that
a
game.
huge break if that happens. You're right. And we don't know. That's why you always say things like injury luck will play a big part of it. That's true for any team.
In their biggest games, the biggest name games, Clemson, Florida, Miami. Florida, Miami have brand new coaching staffs. Clemson's got basically a brand new coaching staff. So you don't know that they're going to just pick up at a high level. And then you got LSU, they had a coaching change. So I mean, there's factors. Again, I think a lot of times fans, some dwell on the positives, some dwell on the negatives. I think there's a possibility it could be some of both. Florida State's better than people think, and those teams are not as good as you think.
I want to point something out here because we have a question about it, and it's not a knock on the question, but I saw something last week where somebody brought this up as well, and we just need to dispel this right off the bat. People like to point out that Florida State will face a number of quarterbacks that can scramble and how difficult it is for Florida State to stop a running quarterback. That's true of everybody. That's true of everybody. Nobody loves a guy that is an elite runner at quarterback. Nobody. Look how often people struggle to stop Josh Allen in the NFL. These are NFL defenses. That big son of a bitch runs a 4.5 40 and he's 240 pounds.
Wait till you see my Falcons this year with Mariota. Good luck, NFL.
Everybody struggles with a mobile quarterback if they have any passing ability at all.
Because so many of the principles are based on that quarterback not running.
Yeah.
Of what you're doing defensively.
They're broken plays a lot of times. I mean, we're talking about.
They're heartbreaking too. Like when you're 3rd and 12 and you cover it well, and then he gets outside and runs for 22 yards. It's like, oh.
And then you have situations where Clemson last year decided, no, Jordan Travis, you're not running against us.
Wait, they're going to take it away.
Well, now you have to have a way to counter that. And Florida State did not have a way to counter that.
Not against that defense. And I don't think against that Clemson defense this year.
They may not.
They will not either.
I mean, you're better out wide.
But I'm just saying.
You can maybe hit. All you got to do is hit one of those plays and you win that game. Just one special play by a wide receiver and you win that game.
We'll make a bet on that game too. Rick writes, hey, Jeff, Silver Fox, and Sweet Pea, 2 things on my mind. Saw a headline. This is the first time since 1974 both Florida and FSU are not ranked to start the season. First thoughts, impressions? Second, saw ESPN praising Napier and the rebuild at UF. They stated the non-coaching staff, or the coaching staff, the non-coaching staff, the analysts, if you will, is what he means, is twice the size of that of rival FSU. Can we beat this absent joining the SEC or the Big Ten? And then he wrote, yay, sausage, fix your crooked teeth with Birch.
I'd be curious if that's accurate. I'm not sure that that's accurate. Florida State's really improved their support staff as well.
Dude, they've got a ton of titles. You want to talk about titles? Like, go look at the Seminoles.com, like the football coaching staff. It's like as many coaches as the rest of the athletic department combined. There are a ton of coaches.
Florida has really publicized it, what they've done.
Well, that was Napier's plan, and he was asked about it the day he got the job. So, I mean, it makes sense that he's going to do that, right? Yeah, but he's made it a point.
But Florida State has put a lot of resources into their staff as well. What was the first part of the question? Do you remember?
The first part was, first impressions, thoughts about the fact that neither of these two teams are ranked for the first time since 1974 in the preseason.
No, I mean, it's not surprising.
1974.
Florida.
Well, you were in middle school then. Where were you?
I was 3. I was living in Holland. I was living in Europe.
3 years old as well.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting. It's tough when you guys are so much older to keep track.
I was in Heerlen, Holland.
74.
Running around playing.
That's a good run when you go 50 years with one of you two being ranked. That's pretty crazy. I didn't know Florida was that good in like the late 70s that they were ranked.
Well, one of the either.
That's even still ranked. Like 75, they were good because Florida State clearly wasn't ranked preseason until the late 70s.
Sean writes, love Jeff's absolute blitzkrieg of the questions last week. Great job. Hope you continue that. We'll see. I don't know, Sean. You liked it because I got to your question. I don't always get to Sean's question.
Sean, but he's original elite headliner.
He is an elite headliner. There's no getting around.
You know who
that.
Stephanie brought up last night was Bauer Sauce.
Yeah, we haven't heard from Bauer Sauce in a while.
Bauer Sauce. We're putting an APB out on you, buddy.
Literally, I hope everything's okay, man. We hadn't heard from him in a while, and he was one of the heartbeats of the show back in the day.
Frederick writes, gents. So I keep hearing that at practices, Jordan Travis's passing game is the main area of development because everybody knows he can run, but is any effort being put to improve his running skills? Being shifty and avoiding contact takes reps to improve. So I'm just hoping some effort is being put into how he runs and enhancing his running abilities. I guess he wants him to stay healthy, obviously. That's what this is about.
No. I think that what they have done is encourage him to understand how important it is for him to stay in games. And I think, when he, in the past, last year and the year before, when he got to run, when he made plays with his legs, he was always looking to make as big a play as possible because he was always kind of competing for the job. Now, and because the offense really didn't have anything else, I think now you will see him a little bit more conservative, not trying to run through tackles. There's been times the last couple of years where, he'd see 2 defenders and try to knife through them for an extra couple of yards.
Yeah, and then wear a beating.
I think you'll see less of that.
Yeah, but I also think don't expect him if he gets one-on-one with a safety or a linebacker to get in the fetal position.
No. He'll put his foot in the ground and go by.
Yeah, but he's an elite runner. He is really, that's the thing he does best. And he has gotten better, I think, throwing. But the thing he does best is one-on-one, man. That is not somebody that gets tackled one-on-one.
There's a play today where we were watching 11-on-11. I'm not describing the play, but a play broke down or nothing was open. And he takes off, and it's just that reminder of, oh, man, yeah, there's 25.
That's still there, too.
There's 25 yards.
Yeah, on a third and long.
Yeah.
When something's not open, it's like, oh, okay, we still got a first down because of his legs. Yeah, they get out of bounds when you need to get out of bounds. But also, if you got a chance to hit it for 80, go 80.
Burke writes, how much can attitude, quote unquote, help raise the ceiling on a team's win-loss record? Can you say how much you've seen an improvement, if any, in FSU's players' attitudes? I think they have good attitudes. We've talked a lot about Norvell transforming the locker room and getting away from some of the toxicity that was what he inherited and really doing a good job of flipping the roster in that way. And I think that a lot of times, Burke, we're talking about that. The players care to be there. They work real hard. They have the proper attitude. I haven't seen any attitude issues. I think everybody's got a zeal for what they're doing and trying to get better. As far as your win-loss ceiling, yeah, man, it beats the hell out of a team that's disjointed and convoluted and dislikes one another. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to win anything if not everybody's on the same page. But at the end of the day, talent decides pretty much what your ceiling is in terms of wins. I mean, if you have a bunch of kids with great attitude, but they all suck, it's not going to do you much good.
There's the ceiling's obviously much lower.
Pretty
yes.
low, right?
But I think not attitude like, yeah, they're picking up their trash and they're nice kids. I mean, it's not so much that, although they do that. Like today, Darius Washington, after the last rep of team drills, he sprints over to where the linemen go at the end of practice. He sprints full speed to get all the blocking stuff out so they can do it for that last drill. Like, I don't know if he was tasked with doing that.
I've seen him pick up trash.
But they make that a point. But I don't think that's going to, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you factor that in and quantify.
You an extra win.
But I think the competitiveness, when you talk about attitude, the competitiveness of the team and the players does matter.
Well, and
don't just sit there and take stuff. Don't just lay down and get beat 59-3. Have some, and don't get in fights when you're down by 50 points in the fourth quarter. Like, I think this team is much more competitive in the day-to-day practices than I've seen since we've been watching them.
In the grand scheme of things, obviously you want best of both. You want the talent and you want that. Yeah. Where things can go awry is when where things are right now, I think in the last year or so has been you're getting to where you need in terms of the other stuff, but now you got to get better talent. Towards the end of Jimbo's tenure, it was the exact opposite. They had the talent, but they had lost all of the other stuff.
Well, he had lost the locker room.
Trashing the plane when they were going trips.
Yeah, I
mean, there was the stories you heard behind the scenes where the players were just running amok, not doing, I'm not saying illegal things, but just there was no respect for the facility, no respect for
themselves. I mean, you represent something.
And you saw it in some of those games where, like the Louisville game, where the other team's telling you about it on the field and you're not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
So that, the idea is you want to get both. You want to get both.
That felt like, and I remember talking about that felt like a real low point. And I remember thinking, it's going to be tough to recover from that. If that's an indicator of the way that those guys feel about each other, the school, their coaching staff, to be on the wrong end of a game where a team could potentially drop 100 on you.
Oh, yeah.
And then they're saying what they were saying and walking into your huddle, telling you about it, and you don't do a damn thing.
Odell had to yell at him.
Odell was the only one, and it was appalling. I felt bad for him because he's a great Seminole, and he had to have been like, what are we doing around here?
That was a sign. And then the next week against South Florida, giving up 40-something points. And then the North Carolina game is when he brought out the promise notes. All that stuff was really bad. That was a tale of what was coming. Now, they finished off great, but they had an unbelievable running back. And a good offensive coach, let's be honest. But they finished off well, but I think that was the sign of
a real indicator.
Now, you're right. I think they have everything in place where the foundation has been set. You just need an influx, let's just say, an injection of maybe 4- and 5-star talent to take
and
off.
if that offensive line that Jeff talked about becomes what you want it to be, and if these skill position players, the Deuce Spans and Johnny Wilsons, develop into really, really good
NFL
college
dudes,
football,
maybe.
Now you're talking.
Walter writes, hello, gents, in Showtime. Over under for tight end receptions is 3 against Duquesne. What do you got?
I'm going to say over.
You like Biscuit. Biscuit's going to get 3 by himself.
I like Biscuit. I also think that you're going to, if things go according to plan and not that 14-7
nonsense, right?
I think that the backup guys are going to be in there a lot in the second half. You like that comfort blanket in the middle of the field, Ira. I think you're getting your first real reps that matter. Maybe you take some easy throws in the middle of the field to the big targets.
What's your favorite donut?
Boston cream.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Just a
Would it not
straightforward
be?
Boston? Yeah, easily. So many better choices.
I had 3 that I went to when I used to eat donuts. Glazed, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to name the company, but you guys all know which glazed I'm talking about. Chocolate frosted, glazed with a little chocolate frosting, and then blueberry cake donuts. Those were my 3.
I'm with you on the blueberry one. I'm an apple cinnamon guy with the apple cinnamon jelly inside there.
Fruity donut guy.
Well, it's like it's not quite a fritter, but it's like a old fashioned.
You should get an umbrella with that thing.
Little old fashioned donut.
Yeah.
But it's got the apple cinnamon infused in there. Very tasty.
Where'd that come from?
If I were,
I thought of it. I had a question.
Oh, you
I
just
had a
should have put
headline.
it on Facebook.
Yeah, I just decided to do that. Yeah.
You should have.
do you think anybody over the age of 4 orders the ones with the white filling on purpose? Like the white cream?
Yeah, that's not
just
what we do.
disgusting.
It's gross, man. Why
it's
is
the
that a
sweetest.
thing?
That's what I'm saying. Like nobody. Sometimes they'll give it to you. Like Kim will get the assorted box.
Yeah, and
they
throw
just
that
throw
in
it in there, and it's like, what do we?
like,
who wants this?
Nobody. The lemon is an underrated donut as well. Yeah, a little underrated.
And I like an
lemon.
old-fashioned jelly donut.
I don't like anything. I don't like.
I like an
stuff with anything.
old-fashioned donut, just a plain old-fashioned ass donut dipped in coffee.
All right.
I have not had a donut in a long time. I think I'm going to get one this week. I just thought I'd ask you two gentlemen what your favorite donut was.
Well, I'll go with the glaze.
Good chat.
It is a good chat. I'm glad we got to do this.
When's the next Warchant meetup? Writes Carlos. Also, I have a work associate who loves the Jeff Cameron show and wants to come out. Can I bring him and keep my FSU fan card? Oh, I'm not against meeting the people at all. We here at Warchant are always
Was
happy
it a
to meet
gator? He didn't specify. Is it a gator or a hurricane?
He didn't
like
say. I don't know. I mean,
yeah, of course you can bring them.
Yeah, of course.
I was thinking. So we do the at CP. We do the we'll be doing the happy hour thing again Fridays before home game.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I assume that'll be our next one. Is the Friday before Duquesne. Jeff and I will have the happy hour thing that we do,
which is fun.
And then we have the pregame show.
Corner
The whole
Pocket.
staff will be there.
And
for
then we have the Hotel Indigo.
At Hotel Indigo. And Kayvon just asked if we should talk about cuts of meat. You want to tell your cuts of meat story?
You got a cuts
Come
of
on,
meat
man.
story?
No. Do I have a cuts of meat story?
Come on, man.
I don't know.
Oh, he's getting old, Ira.
Letterman.
Oh yeah. Shannon was on Letterman. Played
Correct.
It was called Know Your Cuts of Meat.
That's why.
It's crazy.
Good God, man! I've heard him
man,
tell this story countless times. I was imploring him.
I've erased her from my memory.
I'm
None of
worried
that
about
matters.
you.
It's not like Dr. Carroll.
No,
he's not.
No, I don't think about her constantly like this guy over here. She's out of my life now.
It was cologne, and it's a Marilyn.
Well, whatever. But yeah, Shannon was on the David Letterman show back probably 20 years ago now, and she got picked from the
It's
crowd.
more than 20 years ago.
No, it was after 9/11 to bring it back.
Is it?
Yeah, actually, it's probably the 20-year anniversary.
Yeah.
We just did it. And she got picked out of the crowd to do Know Your Cuts of Meat, and she got it right. He told her the answer as he read it, and we got a big box of meat. We got a big box of steaks from one of their famous steakhouses. Got an Italian restaurant gift card. Really nice restaurant too. It was awesome. It was a really cool time. It was if you want to go back and look it up, it was the episode in 2002 with Gina Davis
Nice.
as the main guest, and Robert Plant was the musical guest.
Oh, nice. Really
Yeah,
good.
that was fun.
Seth writes, who's the fastest player on the team? I've heard you guys say Span can move. Just wondering who you all thought would win in a 40.
I think it's him.
Rodney Hill's probably up there too. It depends on the distance. If it's
So
like
he said a 40 yard dash.
it
he
might
said
be
40.
Rodney Hill, man.
Yeah, he
can
really
fly.
he's got a burst. Pokey's very fast.
Deuce
He
is faster than both of them.
You think
I
so?
don't know about 0 to 40. I'm not sure in a 40 yard.
Yeah, that long, that
so
stride.
60 yards. I think Deuce is definitely winning the 60
he wins
over
60.
anyone.
He wins 50 easily.
The 40,
I think he does too.
Rodney Hill does have that quick burst, man, and he is
By the
fast.
way, apparently Trey Benson's numbers are insane as
Yeah.
well. That's
they got a little more speed now.
They do. And the fact that Trey is the size that he is, and he's running anywhere in that conversation.
And we also don't really know like about Sam McCall or Azarie Thomas because we don't get to see them like really go full speed, just running straight ahead. So maybe they're up there too.
Josh wants to know what's more likely, Benson with 500 yards or more or 8 rushing touchdowns.
500 yards or more.
Yeah.
I like him a lot.
Yeah, I know you do.
I do.
They got a lot of guys. They got a lot of guys, man. Toa Feely is going to be a big part of that.
Over
offense.
under 300 yards rushing for Toa Feely.
Over. And I think he's going to have, I would say, 650 yards from scrimmage.
Total offense?
Yeah, 700 yards total offense.
Okay, I'm going to take the under on that.
That's 50 a game.
I'm going to take the under
55
on that,
a game.
But I appreciate your optimism.
Because he's going to hit one big play every couple games, and I think he's going to get you 2 or 3 first downs every game.
Man, that is
I'm bullish. I'm bullish on Toe Dog.
Okay, well, we're going to bet that too.
I'm not betting with you on anything. I mean, what are we doing?
I'm cleaning Corey out today. But
We're not betting.
This is going to be a good day for the Cameron
not
household. I mean, it's fun to willy-nilly just say a number and feel good about it, Corey. It's a whole nother to have to put up for it.
I mean, 300 yards rushing that's 28 yards a game.
But you said how much in total offense? 500 and some odd yards?
600. 650 of total offense.
Fellas.
Come on.
Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV. Continues in a moment.
Continues to heat up after Bellamy files a cease and desist letter against one of Matlow's campaign ads. The letter claims that at least one of Matlow's radio ads includes false statements, according to his opponent Bellamy. The letter points out that an ad approved by Matlow claims Bellamy as a Republican running as a Democrat and further says that Bellamy supported Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis. Bellamy says none of that is true, and Bellamy also stated that Matlow should not be able to get away with making up lies without consequences. This is why, in addition to the cease and desist letter, Bellamy's lawyers say they plan to also file a complaint with the Florida Election Commission. TCC announced they have received $500,000 to expand on their Gadsden Connect program to help get more people into the medical care field. With a donation from Sunshine Health, TCC will be expanding the program from Gadsden County to Leon and Wakulla counties. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Chance for scattered thunderstorms this afternoon. Otherwise, more clouds and sun. Daytime highs approaching 92. West winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance for scattered thunderstorms tonight. Lows dip down to about 74. Mainly cloudy skies expected. Mainly clear skies and quiet tomorrow. Chance for scattered thunderstorms. High temperatures reach up to 95. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 86.
Crawfordville Auto and Tire. Crawfordville Auto and Tire. Oh, hey there. I was just singing the praises of Crawfordville Auto and Tire. They do just about everything. Complete engine rebuilds, brakes, shocks, tires, oil change, you name it, they do it. And they offer a 12-month, 12,000-mile warranty on all parts and labor. Most of the time, they can service your car the same day and offer towing to help you get to the shop. Now that's something to sing about. Open weekdays from 7:30 in the morning until 6 at night. Crawfordville Auto Repair and Tires.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Here's what you missed on the Greg Tish Show.
There's a TikTok that's going viral because of a butter softening method. They are putting the Vermont creamery butter in the waistband of her pants. Give it 5 minutes. You can go and measure out your ingredients, and then your butter is ready to go. You cannot do this in Florida.
No.
Because your pants will be full of butter in 2 minutes. Somebody try it. Post on TikTok.
Unless it says juicy across the back.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3.
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Nathaniel Hornblower, my man, writes, fellas, imagine that you are, unfortunately, Brian Foghorn Leghorn Kelly. How do you manage the game offensively versus FSU? And what specifically do you attack? The defensive ends in the run game, maybe? Maybe some zone read, boot action? Also, we've been thinking about this the wrong way. Imagine free regular dental work for all players under NIL courtesy of Dr. Birch. And she uses only the best Bama Table brand Novocaine at every appointment.
Okay.
Oh, and don't forget your goodie bag there, young man. There's floss, toothbrush, and a little toothpaste box with a rolled up wad of cash in there for you. Hashtag just a tiny little pinch for that ass. All right, thank you. That's great as always.
The blueprint is there for you, Heather. Make it happen, man. Are you a fan or not? Like, do you want to be a part of this program's resurgence or not?
By the way, not for nothing, his offhanded remark about attacking the defensive ends and running right at them is what I would do if I were LSU. I would. I'd challenge Jared Verse and McClendon and those guys. Briggs. I like Briggs a lot. I think he'll do fun. It's going to be interesting to see how they use them and win down and distance changes personnel and kind of going to be fun. They have some people they can match up there, so it'll be good. Jared Verse we don't talk enough about how interesting it's going to be to see him make the jump.
Yeah.
You know, we know what an athlete he is. We know how strong he is. Every now and then, once a practice, you see something from him where you go, whoa, that's different. But does he have the discipline for run fits? Is he strong enough to hold up throughout a game? I mean, he did just come from Albany. He is young. It's unreasonable, to think that he's going to be an every down guy or anything like that.
It will be interesting to see what their game plan is, because I do think, but even if they want to run the ball, if they have a mobile quarterback, if Jaden Daniels is the quarterback, which it sounds like, he's obviously a mobile guy. So do you go heavy personnel and then now Florida State's got to keep an extra linebacker in and play more straight up, or do you spread them out and try to run out of that? And so a lot of that's going to dictate, who Florida State has on the field. But I wonder if we see more 4-3. They played probably 95% of the last season in the nickel.
This is kind of a few fun questions here, okay? And we have to do the best we can to just be as straightforward, honest as we possibly can. I know we always do, but here we go. Ryan writes, Micah Pittman compared Jordan Travis to Justin Herbert earlier this week in a quote. That alone is...
We all just kind of moved along.
Yeah. Andrea Adelson also mentioned him as a quarterback to watch for in the ACC in her preview. Two very different things there, Ryan, but okay.
That's fair.
From what you've seen, does he have a legit chance to be a great college quarterback?
I believe, I'm going to answer before you.
Okay.
I believe if he was in the right system with talent around him, I think he could have a great season. I don't know that I expect that this season at Florida State. But, yeah, man.
It's also tough to define great.
Well, I mean,
we do need to define our terms. He's not Charlie Ward. He's not going to be.
But there have been quarterbacks in systems with certain athletes around them that have monster seasons.
Sure, the Heisman winning season.
He could do that in that kind of situation. I mean, look, he's not like he lacks arm strength, or he certainly doesn't lack running ability. Strength. So there's a lot of things. He had a lot of tools, and that's why I said if he doesn't have a good year, to me, it's on the coaches. Because there's a lot to work with there. They have to figure out the best way to use it.
I kind of recoil at the idea of his name being mentioned alongside Justin Herbert. That's
a teammate trying to build him up. And it's funny because he said Jay Herb when I was there when he said it. We talked to him on Thursday in Jacksonville, and he said, "Yeah, I haven't had a quarterback like this since Jay Herb." And I thought he said Jay Hurd. But either way, I was like, who is this, man? Is this some kid he played with in California? Is this a Calabasas quarterback that's somewhere? I don't know who Jay Hurd is.
Short segment, so we got to get another one in here. FSU versus Duquesne player props. Jordan Travis pass yards, 214.5, over, under.
Under, because he's not going to play enough.
I'll go over.
I'll go under.
I'd go over against LSU, though.
Rush yards, 44.5, Jordan Travis.
Over.
Duquesne? Under.
Over. He's going to hit two big ones.
Under. Ontario Wilson, receptions 3.5, yards 53.5.
Under, over.
I might go under.
I'm going to go under. Trayshawn Ward, rush yards 67.5.
Under. Because Toafili is going to get 90.
And Benson.
I looked it up, by the way.
Tough. There's a lot of guys running.
Toafili had 350 yards rushing as a freshman on 35 carries.
I'm going under.
Just throwing that out.
I'm going under here with Trayshawn Ward, 67.5. I think that all those guys are going to share. A lot of guys. Rodney Hill going to get carries in that game too.
Josh Burrell, the whole crew, the whole gang.
The whole crew. We got 1 minute here. Bob Fiore writes, Stanford Steve the Bear don't think the Noles will win more than 6 games. They make arguments for Pitt, Miami, NC State, and North Carolina. It doesn't seem like they know our competition very well. Anyhow, he wants to know what we think of that. I don't think anybody from the outside sees this coming if Florida State wins 8-9 games. But that is normally the way that it is.
That's how it is everywhere, especially because of the transfer portal.
But also,
now it's hard to know what teams have.
Also, you've had 5 straight losing seasons.
Yeah, and that's a fair thing to say. Ira, Corey, great job as always, brother. To all of you, thank you so much. Director Matthew, great job. Be well, everybody. We'll talk to you again soon. Peace.